Even across galaxies, love found its way home.
Hello everyone, welcome to What If Deku Fell in Love with 02 After Separation movie. Before we start, please go support Scissor717 for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some mistaken character's gender, but of course Deku is a male. Prologue. Narrator. We find ourselves in a snowy landscape, more specifically in Alaska. Out of nowhere, 3 planes with a Japanese flag appear, heading towards a Russian laboratory, illegal according to their informants, where they were conducting illegal experiments on people. On plane 1. Soldier 1. Gentlemen, we are getting closer to our objective. Remember, if it is necessary to kill, do it. Bring back all information, whether it be data or people who were guinea pigs for experiments, whether they are alive or dead. Soldier 5. Sir, I have a question. Is it necessary for that child to come with us? He was referring to Izuku, who was silent. Izuku. For your information, I'm 17 years old, a hero candidate, I can take care of myself, and I have no problem killing if necessary. Soldier 5. I thought I was supposed to be his babysitter. Soldier 2. I thought heroes didn't do these kinds of missions, especially if someone your age needed their parents to sign a paper. Izuku. My mother signed this mission. Soldier 5. I doubt a mother would let her son do these kinds of missions. Izuku. Hey, what is this, a police interrogation or a mission? Soldier 1. Attention all units, we are now approaching our. The soldier pressed a button where the rear hatch was opened. The same thing happened in the other 2 Japanese ships. Soldier 1. Alright, gentlemen, it's time to jump. Now. The soldiers began jumping from the 3 planes, extending their arms and legs, and began gliding over the snowstorm that had. To avoid getting lost, they had GPS that told them where the objective was and where their team was. Soldier 1. Falcon team, I want you to take care of those upstairs and those guarding the door. Soldiers from the Russian base began to fall dead from the high points, from the gates too. Soldier 1. We have blind spots, let's proceed with caution, understood? All? Yes. The Japanese soldiers quickened their pace, and since their uniforms were white, it helped them a lot with camouflage. The Japanese soldiers approached the door and placed a device where the code had to be entered. The device entered the codes, and the door opened, revealing a large laboratory. Now the soldiers approached the gate where he let them in. There were 20 soldiers for each plane. Half of them stood on one side of the gate, while the other half of the team stood on the other side. They placed detonators at the door. Inside the laboratory. Some soldiers could be seen patrolling, scientists walking back and forth, but suddenly the entrance door of the laboratory was blown off by an explosion, and the soldiers who were nearby were injured by the door and the blast. Amidst all that smoke, bullets flew out, injuring and killing Russian soldiers and scientists. Now, a bunch of Japanese soldiers started entering through the door, firing indiscriminately. Izuku. Where is his laboratory and his test subjects located? Soldier 1. You see that staircase in front that leads down? Izuku. Yes, that's right. Soldier 1. Okay, there's the lab with its test subjects. The code to open the door where the test subjects are is 1,654,231. Go on, we've got your back. Izuku started running, dodging and returning bullets, until he finally managed to get through the door. He shot the tablet next to the door, causing it to close. When Izuku turned around, the light started turning on all along the stairs. Izuku. Alright, it's time to see the atrocities these Russians have committed against these poor people. Izuku started down the stairs, his guard up, expecting any surprises. He reached the laboratory where he found many things, such as a blue substance that looked like blood, normal blood, files, and drawings of monsters. Then he found the famous door. He could see several doors. Almost all of them were marked with an X, except for one. Izuku, with his weapon raised, slowly opened the door. He saw only darkness, turned on the flashlight on his gun, and saw someone. Izuku. Hey, calm down, I come in peace, I don't mean to hurt you. Izuku carefully ducked under his weapon, but suddenly the figure lunged towards him. Luckily, he managed to cover himself with his which was being bitten by a woman. Izuku. The report told us it was a man. Hey, relax, I'm not here to hurt you. I'm one of the good guys. He starts gently stroking her head. You see, I'm one of the good guys. Seeing the affection Izuku was showing her, the girl began to shed a few tears. She stopped biting and started licking the spot where she had been biting him. Izuku. You must be hungry, I think I have something here. Izuku began checking his pockets while the girl watched him with a curious look. Izuku. Here it is, pulls out a chocolate bar. Here, it's all yours. The girl takes it just as she's about to put it in her mouth, wrapper and all. Izuku stops her. Izuku. Hey, that's not how you eat, come here. Izuku removed the chocolate from her to unwrap it, then gave her the unwrapped chocolate. When she took the first bite, she was fascinated by the flavor, squealing with excitement. Izuku. Haha, so you do like me. But suddenly the door is knocked down. The noise, being so loud, frightened the girl, who hid behind Izuku and began to tremble with fear. Izuku, seeing the circumstances he was in, took his weapon and pointed it at the first thing that appeared there. Soldier 1. Hey kid, it's us. We're out of danger now, you can lower your weapon. Upon seeing that it was his team, he lowered his weapon. Izuku. They took a long time, don't you think? Soldier 2. Apparently there were more soldiers than we expected, well, and he's the test subject. Izuku. Well, actually it's her. Soldier 4. It's like, in the report we were told she was a man. Izuku. Well, it seems they made a mistake, it's a woman. Hey, come out so they can see you. She emerged from Izuku's back, but didn't let go of his arm. She has long pink hair, 2 small horns protruding from her forehead, slightly large green eyes, and a body that was perfectly proportioned, not too big, not too small, just right. Izuku. Hey, can you tell us your name? If you know what I mean, my name is Izuku Midoriya, just in case. Zerotwo. Izuku. That's a serial number, you don't have a real name. 02. Shakes his head. Izuku. Well, let's get him some cold weather clothes and head back to Japan before they send more reinforcements. Time skips. Izuku narrates. Once we had finished the mission, we returned to the base in Japan, where they took 02. But when she saw that they were separating her from me, she clung to me with all her might, since I hadn't let go of her since I took her out of that cage. Once I received my pay, one of the soldiers from the mission offered me a ride. I gladly accepted, although I still couldn't get the image of 02 out of my head. Izuku. Hey, do you know what they're going to do with her? Soldier 2. First, they're going to run some tests to see what was done to her, and if everything goes well, they're going to put her in the care of some agents so she can reintegrate into society. Izuku. But what if we don't? Soldier 2. Well, they're going to keep her there with all the care and luxuries that can be offered. Izuku. Oh, okay, thanks for the information. Time skips. Izuku had already arrived at the apartment where he lived with his mother, and he opened the door with his key. He could see that everything was dark, he turned on the living room light, and there he could see his mother sitting on the sofa, looking at him with an angry face. Izuku. Nervous. Mom, what are you doing up so late at night? Inko. I should ask myself the same thing, don't you think, Izuku? Izuku. Well, the school sent me and my class on a mission, you know, hero stuff. Besides, I already told you, you even signed the permission slip. Inko. So that's what that paper was for. Sorry, son, I was so tired I didn't read it properly and just signed it. Besides, since you're always locked up and grumpy, it was strange that you disappeared like that out of nowhere. Izuku. Don't worry, Mom, it's best if we go to sleep, it's getting late. Time skips. It was a new day and we found ourselves at UA, where Izuku received his classes, along with his other classmates. Izuku. Ugh, what time does this class end? I'm hungry, I want to eat my katsudon, damn it. Izawa. Alright class, that's all for today. I hope you understood, because the first midterm exams are coming up soon. All, yes sensei. Then the bell rings, signaling lunchtime. Izawa. Alright, you can leave now. Now we find ourselves in the cafeteria. We can see Izuku sitting alone at a table, since he has a bad reputation there because of his character, how he expresses himself, or how he refers to others. Izuku. I've already relieved my stomach with the palate of the gods, it's best if I leave here. Izuku was already leaving, but someone got in his way. Izuku. Get out of my way, Bakugo. Tatsuki. So what if I don't want this damn extra? Izuku. I see you didn't get enough last time, and you've come back for more. Tatsuki. This time I'm here for an extra rematch, I don't think someone like you can beat me. Izuku. Just give up already. You want me to beat you? Yes, that's it. I'm not going to waste any more time with you. Tatsuki. Well, I don't think the same, so we're going to have our rematch whether you like it or not. Just as the fight was about to escalate, Izuku was called over the school's loudspeakers. Tatsuki. You got lucky this time, but you won't next time. Izuku. As if I needed it, get out of my way. In the principal's office. Izuku had already arrived at the office, knocked on the door, heard her come in, so he entered. Those who were there were Principal Nezu, his teacher Izawa, Almight, and the chief of the Japanese armed forces. Izuku. My name was Mr. Nezu. Nezu. That's right, young Midoriya. You know that just a few days ago you were on an extraction mission, wasn't you? Izuku. That's right, but what's all that about? JFP, Chief of the Armed Forces. Well, as you know, on that mission we were informed that human test subjects were there illegally and that only one remained, who was supposed to be a man, but apparently they made a mistake in the report. It turned out to be a woman, no more than about 17 years old. Izuku? That's right, but I'm flying, and I'll repeat what all this is about. JFP. Well, when we were studying her, she kept saying darling, so we gave her a sheet of paper and a pencil to draw what she was trying to say, and she ended up drawing you. JFP. Tell me, were you the first to go in there? Izuku yes. JFP. When 02 saw him, what happened? Izuku. Well, she attacked me by biting my arm. JFP. And what did you do? Izuku. Well, I calmed her down by giving her a few pats on the head and I gave her some chocolate. JFP. I think those were reasons why she ended up becoming so fond of you. Izuku. But only for those two simple things. JFP. For someone who has only grown up with abuse, it's enough for someone to come out of nowhere and give them some affection. Izuku. Hey, what are you trying to tell me with all this? JFP. What I'm trying to say is that you're going to take charge of 02. Izuku. Hey, I'm not here to babysit anyone, besides, what happened to the tests they were doing on him? JFP. We've already gathered enough information from what we found in the Russian labs. Besides, this isn't a request, it's an order you have to comply with. Izuku. But why not other people? Surely there's someone more capable than me. JFP. And so it was, but all of those were rejected by her. She said that she wanted her darling, referring to you. Izuku. I guess I have no other choice but to accept. The three of them? That's right. Izuku. Well, where is 02? Suddenly the door is opened and Izuku is knocked down by someone. 02 darling. Izuku. Yes, it's also a pleasure to see you again, 02. JFP. For now, that's all she can say, but we hope that with you she'll be able to say more. Izuku. Hey, but she's not even in this school. Nezu. Don't worry about that, I've already resolved that matter and she'll be in the same class as you. Izuku. Well, if that's all, we can leave now. Nezu. That's right, you can leave now. Izuku. Alright 02, let's go. The two left the room. Izuku. Alright, as you can see, these are the classes available, and here's our claw. He couldn't finish because 02 hugged him. Izuku. Hey, what are you doing? 02 darling. Izuku. Okay, but can you move back a little? She just shook her head, clinging to him tighter, stroking his chest with her head like a cat. Izuku. Today is going to be a very long day. At that moment, the door to their classroom opened, revealing to the entire class what Zero and Izuku were doing. Izuku. Yep, today's going to be a really long day. Chapter 1 Learn to Speak. Narrator. Now we can see the entire class 1 at the classroom door and outside of it was Izuku, being hugged by a loving 02. Izuku. I know it seems a bit strange knowing how I get along with you and everyone at this school, so if you're going to say something, do it quickly and logically. You have a maximum of 5 questions. Momo. Midoriya, can you tell me who she is? Izuku. She's 02, she's the only survivor of the mission I did a few days ago, they left her in my care. Iida. And why would someone leave something in your charge, especially if it's a life? Izuku. Because that's what they decided and if you or anyone else has a problem with that, you can tell me outside at the back of the school. Izuku. Now if nobody has anything to say to me then move aside, you're in the way. Everyone stepped aside to let the two of them in and then went to take their seats as the professor was about to arrive. After 5 minutes he arrived. Izawa. Alright, everyone knows about the new student, right? Everyone nods very well then, let's begin with the classes. Momo. Sensei, the new girl doesn't have to introduce herself. Izawa. Well, the problem is that her vocabulary is limited, so she can only say 2 things since she was locked up for a long time. Iida. Sensei, don't you think she shouldn't be here? I mean, she's been locked up almost her entire life and I can only say 2 things. Don't you think her lack of intelligence and understanding of words will make her a hindrance? Izawa. Although he speaks little, that doesn't mean his intelligence and comprehension of words are affected. Studies have already been done, which have proven that his intelligence is higher than that of a normal human and he understands what we say perfectly. Momo. But how are we sure of that? Izuku. Ah, you guys are really messing things up, 02. 02. Izuku. What is 22? 02. Holds up 4 fingers. Izuku. There you have it, brilliant one. Now could you all stop messing around and continue with the class? Classes had already ended and our protagonist was leaving UA with 02, who was curiously observing everything. Izuku felt a tug on his arm, he saw that 02 was pointing at a tree. Izuku? You want to know what that is? 02 nods. Izuku? Well, that's a tree over there, tell me. 02 tree. Izuku? No, it's tree, you understand. 02 tree. Izuku? Exactly, you see, it's not that difficult. 02 tree. Izuku? Okay, stop celebrating now, you still have more to learn at home. So the two continued walking until they reached a train station. Izuku? Here, my friend, this is called a train station. 02 train station. Izuku? Correct, let's continue please. Once they entered the train station, they went to sit on some benches to wait for the train that would take them home. While Izuku would stay on his phone, 02 would be looking at her entire surroundings. But then a butterfly lands on his nose, but then flies away. 02, wanting to know what it was, pulls on Izuku's shirt. Izuku? For God's sake, 02, could you stop asking about everything you see? If you want to know something, find it out for yourself. He said this while not taking his eyes off his phone. 02, who was somewhat saddened by this, then the butterfly returned, but this time it seemed to be indicating that he should follow it. 02 began to follow the butterfly, while Izuku continued looking at his cell phone, reading how to cause a coup. 02 was still chasing the butterfly, unaware that she was still carrying it along a somewhat abandoned part of the train. Then the butterfly turned to dust out of nowhere. She looked at him strangely, so she decided to go back, but now she didn't know where she was since that part of the train was abandoned. 02 began to worry, to the point that she was starting to tremble with fear. At that moment, two large shadows appeared behind 02. When she turned around, something quickly approached her. But Izuku. This idiot kept looking at his phone, but when he saw that the train had arrived, he put his phone down and stood up. Izuku? Alright 02, the train's here, let's go 02, if you're angry about what I said. When he turned to look at her, she wasn't there, making Izuku's blood run cold. Izuku? I'm so mad. But 02. She was being held down by one guy while another guy was groping her body. Type 1. Come on baby, stop resisting, we know you like it. Type 2. You know, we only use this trick on children, but when we saw you fall for it, we couldn't pass up this opportunity. Type 1. Oh wow, you really have a nice body. When we're done with you, we're going to sell you to the highest bidder. 02 sniff darling sniff. But Izuku. Izuku? Oh my god, how could it have been lost? If they find out about this, they're going to cut my balls off. Izuku continued searching everywhere until he heard the sound of crying followed by tearing clothes. He looked to see where the noise was coming from and saw a half-open door. Upon hearing the noise coming from there, she ran in that direction, kicked down the door, and that's where she saw her being held by two men. One was grabbing her, while the other had torn off her clothes and was about to grape her. Izuku? Angry, hey you bastards, what do you think you're doing to him? Type 1. Damn, I thought nobody knew about this place. Type 2. Who cares, I'll hold her, you take care of him, he looks kind of scrawny and short too, ha this is going to be very easy. Izuku? If I were you, I wouldn't trust him, you damn shit. Type 2. Oh yeah, you're scared, aren't you? Type 2's head fell to the floor and Izuku's arm had turned into a blade. Izuku? I hate being called shorty. Type 1. Scared you bastard, don't take another step, she'll die. Pulling out a knife, putting it to 02's neck. Izuku? Believe me, buddy, it's better if you don't do that if you don't want to end up worse than your classmate. Type 1. Let me go with the girl and I won't tell my friends about this. Izuku? Ah, why does everyone want to do it the wrong way? Izuku disappeared in everyone's sight. Suddenly, Type 1 realized he no longer had the girl. Before he could react, he was cut to pieces. Izuku? Just so you know, I warned you. Notices 02 Hey 02, are you okay? 02 shakes her head while trying to wipe away her tears. Izuku? Damn, look what they did to you. Here, put on my jacket so you don't walk around like that. After all that drama, the two went back to where they had been. Izuku checked the time and saw that the train wouldn't arrive for another hour, so he resigned himself to it and went back to his seat with 02. But she remained silent, with her head down, covering the bruise on her face with one hand. Izuku? Shit, say something, apologize, but do something. Izuku? Hey 02, can you tell me about your torture in that laboratory? 02, who had calmed down a little, suddenly began to cry again, tears welling up in her eyes. Izuku? When they told you that you couldn't study anymore, you took it as a challenge. Time skips. 02 had already calmed down, and this time Izuku kept his mouth shut so as not to mess things up again. He'd already made enough mistakes in one day. Just then, their train arrived, so they decided to get on. Once they were on the train, some people in the carriage started giving Izuku dirty looks. Well, if you see a girl with a bruise on her face covering it with her hand, her eyes red from crying so much, and her clothes torn and covered by a jacket that's a bit too small, and then a guy with a face that looks like he's going to beat you up if you get in his way, anyone can think the worst, right? Look at the state of that poor girl. What a coward to do that to a woman. Haha, it reminds me of my younger days. Do you think we should call the police? And so they continued making Izuku want to kill himself. Izuku. I deserve it for being an idiot. Time skips. They had already arrived at the apartment where she lived with her mother. Izuku. Okay 02, this is the house where I live with your mother. 02 raised his hand, but it seemed as if it were trembling. Izuku. Sighs. Places his hand on 02's head and begins to stroke her. Izuku. I know I messed up big time today. I know it's difficult for you and for both of us. We were isolated from people. You were forced into it and I did it of my own accord. I know I don't understand the pain you went through and the pain you're going through now. Izuku. But I want to fix my mistakes with you, so please let's start over. Izuku. Nice to meet you, I'm Izuku Midoriya, pleased to meet you. Suddenly, Izuku is hugged by 02, who looks up at Izuku with a smile. 02. Darling, darling. Izuku. I think I'm starting to like it when you call me that. 02. My name is 02. Izuku. Hey, you're making progress, it's a bit broken, but it's a good step forward for you. At that moment, the apartment door is opened by Inko. Inko. Son, I'm so glad you're here, you had me so worried. She stares at the scene, making Izuku a little nervous. 02 peeks out to see who it is. Upon seeing 02's condition, Inko stares at Izuku, making him fear for his life, so Inko takes them both inside the apartment. Inko. Izuku, I want you to explain why this young woman is in this state. Did you do something like that to her those doujinshi where the girl is raped to the point of mentally breaking her until she becomes dependent on her rapist? Izuku. Blushing mom, what the heck is wrong with you? Are you still watching that kind of stuff? It's making you sick. Inko. Are you still angry about what happened that time? I already told you I'm sorry. Izuku. What kind of mother electrocutes her son with a taser? Inko. Well, it's your fault, you know what your mother looks at and how paranoid she is, and approaching me from behind in the middle of the night isn't very smart of you. Inko. We're getting off topic. You still haven't answered my question. Who is this young lady? Pointing at 02 and why is she like this? Izuku. Well, she's the only survivor of the mission I went on with my class. I freed her from her cage and she attacked me thinking I was going to hurt her, but then I showed her some affection and she grew fond of me. Izuku. That's why she clung to me like a koala or a cat. The agents, seeing that the only way for her to progress was with me, left me in charge. Inko. Oh, and why is it like this? Izuku. Nervous, well, that's because. Inko. Izuku, speak quickly or I'll castrate you with a teaser. Izuku. Scared she's like this because she was asking a lot of questions, which I told her not to bother me about, so she went off to investigate on her own, got lost, and was almost raped by some thugs, and then I asked her about the things they did to her there, making her cry even more. Inko. Takes out the teaser and turns it on. Izuku. 02 I umlaut 143/4 I umlaut 143/4 I umlaut 1/4. Time skips. Now we can see Izuku, all electrocuted by his mother. Inko. Don't think your punishment is over, little boy. Izuku. There's more. Inko. Yes, there's more and you'll have to put up with it. Now you're going to teach him to speak right now. Izuku. But it's 7 p.m. Inko. It doesn't matter and they'll keep going until she's tired. Izuku turned to look at 02 and it seemed that she was full of energy. Izuku. Tonight's going to be a long night. Come on, 02, let's give you a bath and some of my clothes that I have lying around so we can start your classes. So the two of them went to the room while being watched by Inko. Inko. These two bring back so many memories from when I was dating Hisachi back in our youthful haha. Chapter 2 My Heroic Motivation. Narrator. It was a new day for UA. In the classroom of Class 1A we can still see Izuku with the face of a living dead man. Iida. Midoriya, can you tell me why you're in that condition? Izuku. Don't give a buck, no, don't give a buck. Momo. Midoriya, can you tell us why you're like this? Izuku. The same goes for you too, buck off. At that moment, Izuku is hugged from behind by a wild 02. 02. Jealous, stay away from me, darling. Uraraka. Wait, wasn't it that she couldn't speak? Izuku. Well, it took me all night to teach him to speak fluently. Iida. I don't think she could have spoken quickly if she had the mentality of a 3-year-old. Izuku. Correction, she has the mentality of a cat, a koala, she learns faster than you think. Besides, she already had some knowledge. She told us that when she came on the first day. Izuku. Besides, I'm the one in charge of her, not you guys, so stop bothering me. Then the teacher arrived and everyone went to take their seats. Izawa. Alright class, today we're going to talk about the topic of motivation, such as what motivates you to be heroes. Izuku. My motivation to be a hero since I arrived here, I still don't know what my reason was to become a hero. I believe in justice, but not the justice that everyone knows. Time skips. Izuku and 02 were already at lunch, but Izuku was still thinking about what they saw today. Izuku. Hey 02, what is your motivation in this life? 02, who was eating a slice of bread, pointed towards Izuku. 02. Darling, is my motivation in this life. Izuku. I'm your motivation, well what terrible motivation you have. 02. And what is darling's motivation? Izuku. When I was little I wanted to be a hero, but now that I'm grown up, some heroes aren't like I thought they were. Their method of justice is somewhat unorthodox, and almost no one fears or respects them anymore. Izuku. I feel that if they change their method of justice and are a little violent with the villains, they will regain the respect and admiration of the people, but if they want to instill terror in villains, I think they should cross that line. 02. Which line are you referring to, darling? Izuku. I mean killing the villains. When I talk to someone about this, they say I'm completely wrong. 02. I don't think you're wrong. Times change, some laws have to change, right? Izuku. Wow, you're the first person who understands me, haha. Izuku. You know, I think I'm starting to enjoy having your company. He starts stroking her head, making her purr as if she were a little bird. Izuku. I ran out of drink, I'm going to get more. Do you want me to get you something? 02. More sweetbread please. Izuku. Okay, you stay here while I go get the drinks and the sweetbread. Once Izuku left, 02 looked both ways and grabbed a piece of meat from Izuku's plate. 02. It tastes good. I think darling wouldn't mind if I grabbed another piece of meat. 02 was about to grab another piece, but then someone sat down next to her, making her wonder. So you're 02, huh? 02. Nods. Nice to meet you, I'm Shoto Todoroki. Extends his hand in greeting. 02, a little uncomfortable, accepts the greeting, then quickly withdraws her hand and turns her gaze towards where Izuku was. Shoto. Tell me why you're with him. 02. Because he's my darling, and I love him very much. Shoto. Please, how many days have you been with him? 1, 2, or 3 days. And you're already saying you love him just because he gives you affection and sweets. Please, anyone would think you're a slut. 02. What is that? Shoto. Well, if you agree to come with me, I'll tell you and even show you, only if you leave Izuku and come live with me. 02. I'm sorry, but I prefer to be with my darling. Shoto. Why do you prefer to be with him? He can't give you anything. But if you come with me, I can give you everything you ask for. 02. I already told you no, I only like being with my darling, nobody else. Just as Shoto was about to say something else, he felt something sharp on the back of his neck. When he turned around, he saw Izuku pointing his tail at him. Izuku. She already told you that I only want to be with me, so you'd better leave. Shoto. Whatever, I was already leaving. Besides, you can't be protecting her all the time. Izuku. Just watch me do it. And so Shoto left, leaving the two of them in peace. Izuku. Are you okay? He didn't do anything to you. 02. No, he didn't do anything to me. Who is he, and why did he insist so much that I leave you and go with him? Izuku. Let's just say I made a few enemies at this school, who only want to see me suffer but have never succeeded, since I'm pretty much unbreakable against their schemes. 02. Oh hey darling, what a nobody. He told me that if I went with him he'd tell me and even show me. You can do it yourself. Izuku. I'll tell you in due time, don't rush. When I see him again, I'm going to kill him for trying to corrupt me. Izuku. Look, changing the subject, here's the sweetbread you asked for. 02. Happy give it to me, give it to me. Izuku. Haha, here you go. The two resumed eating, but Izuku looked at his food somewhat strangely. Izuku. Hey, you were eating my meat. 02. Nervous Nuo, it was definitely you and you didn't realize it. Izuku. You know what, it doesn't matter. Let's just keep eating before recess ends. Time skips. The day passed quickly and now our protagonists were leaving school, but Izuku stopped. Izuku. Hey 02, how about I take you around the city a bit more? Since you've been with me, I haven't taken you anywhere other than school and home. what do you say I take you? 02. I would really love to, darling. Izuku. Okay, then let's go to the subway station to catch the train that will take us to the city. So the two of them headed towards the train station. Once they arrived at the train station, Izuku went to check the schedules. He saw that a train was heading towards the city center but would arrive in 30 minutes. Izuku. Okay, the next train arrives in 30 minutes, for now we'll have to wait here sitting down. Izuku. Hey 02, remember that you told me what my motivation was to become heroes. 02. Yes, but you already told me. Izuku. Not entirely. My motivation for being a hero is to protect those who can't, to let them know there's someone watching over them, and also to make villains understand that their actions have consequences and their way of paying for it is with their death. Izuku. I want to be a light of hope for the helpless, but I will also be the downfall of the villains. When they see me coming, let them know that all hope of life and escape is zero, that their destiny is already sealed by me. Izuku. I will be your judge, your jury, and your executioner myself. There will probably be many people against my ideals, the Hero Commission, and the heroes will want to stop me. Izuku. That's why I don't care. They can send as many as they want. Nothing will stop me from eliminating all the villains, even if it means taking down those who oppose me and want to kill me, friend or foe. Then I'll be forced to end their lives along with the villains. Izuku. Because if they oppose my ideals, then I will consider it treason, and treason is punished with the lives of the traitors. Izuku. Sorry if I didn't tell you everything, it's just that there were a lot of people where we were. 02. I'm glad you opened up to me like this, Izuku, and I don't oppose your ideals. Rather, I support them. Where I was, they made me understand that people can't change, and that the only thing that awaits them is death. Izuku. Haha, I'm glad to have met you, 02. 02. I'm also grateful to have met you, darling. Just then the train arrives. Izuku. Well, our friend has arrived, it's best if we leave. So the two of them boarded the train that would take them towards the city center. Chapter 3 Night Out. Narrator. Now we can see our protagonists walking through the streets. 02 looked amazed at how beautiful the city looked at night, illuminated by the lights of the buildings. Izuku. It's beautiful, isn't it? The first thing we're going to do is go get something to eat, what do you think? 02. Since you're going to take me out to eat, if I may ask, are you going to take me there? Izuku. I know a good place, where the food is very delicious. 02. Now I'm even more curious to go to that place you're talking about. Izuku. Okay, the place is nearby, we have to go quickly because at night is when their food gets much better. The two headed towards the restaurant and when they arrived they saw that it was still open, so they went in. They asked for a table and went to sit down. Then the waitress arrived. Waitress. Good evening, what would you like to eat? Izuku. Give me a grilled chicken, please. 02. I want a grilled pork chop please. Waitress. Okay, what drinks would you like? Izuku. I'd like some wine with a little alcohol, please. 02. I want the same thing too. Waitress. Okay, I'll bring your drinks when your food is on your table. So the waitress left. Izuku. Hey 02, are you sure about what you ordered to drink? 02. Don't worry, darling, I'll be fine. Izuku. Okay, if you say so. Izuku. Tell me, what do you think of the city so far? 02. I'm amazed at how beautiful she is, and even more so when night falls, she becomes even more beautiful. Izuku. I'm glad you liked it. They continued chatting for a while until the food and drinks were brought to them. Waitress. Here are your dishes, enjoy. 02. Wow, this looks delicious. Izuku. Right. Now let's eat before our food freezes. So the two of them started eating and drinking. For Izuku, it wasn't the first time he'd had an alcoholic drink, but he was somewhat worried about 02. Izuku. Hey 02, don't down the drink in one gulp, sip it slowly, since you're new to all this, and I already know a bit about it. 02. Relax, darling, I'll be fine, don't worry. I have good control over these kinds of drinks, I know what I'm talking about. Time skips. We can now see our two protagonists walking through the streets, although 02 was a little unsteady on her feet, while a blush adorned her face. Izuku. I knew you wouldn't let me stop you from drinking wine with alcohol. 02. Oh please, darling, it's not that big of a deal. Oh look, a clothing store. Can you buy me even just one pair, please? Izuku. Okay, but hurry up, we have to go home now. 02 Yes. Izuku. There's no doubt about it, she's a child with the body of a teenager, but I don't blame her. She had a shitty life. She lost her entire childhood in that laboratory. The two of them went into the clothing store, where they found some clothes that fit them very well, so they bought them. Once they paid for their things, they waited somewhere and Izuku called an Uber. Just then, someone came running and tripped, causing some jars of strange liquids to fall. Luckily, only one fell, spraying 02. "Oh my god, I'm so sorry, it really wasn't my intention, I wasn't looking where I was walking, please forgive me." 02. "Hey, relax, no problem, but what is all this?" "Well, I work in a perfume shop and my boss told me I had to take these new lotions to her office." Izuku. "Okay, let me help you with all of this." "Thank you so much, I really appreciate it." Once they had helped the girl put on her lotions and her Uber had arrived, they said goodbye to her and got into the Uber. It's good that this didn't escalate. When the woman saw the bottle that had spilled in 02, she opened her eyes, started sweating, her fear was so great that she turned white. "Nervous of all the perfumes I brought, it had to be you. It had to be you, it had to spill. No way. When my boss finds out about this, she's going to kill me in the worst way possible." Izuku Y02. 02 clings to Izuku's arm and falls asleep. Izuku. "And I thought he'd never get tired. Better for me, that way I can sleep peacefully." Time skips. The Uber had already arrived at its destination. He grabbed the shopping bags while driving a completely asleep 02. He arrived at the apartment, knocked on the door with his foot twice, waited a few seconds, and knocked again. Then the door that was opened by Inko. Inko. "Hi son, how was your trip?" Izuku. "We did really well, mom, so well that 02 ended up exhausted." Inko. "Wow, you guys really had fun. You'd better go inside, it's getting late." Izuku. "Okay, mom, you go to sleep. I'll take care of 02. Inko. "Okay, good night, son." Izuku. "Good night, mother." So the three of them went to their rooms. Izuku carefully laid 02 down so that she wouldn't wake up. As she was about to go to the bathroom to take a shower, 02 suddenly opened her eyes, revealing what looked like hearts in her pupils. Izuku hadn't noticed, but suddenly he received a bite on his neck, startling him. Izuku. 02, but you were asleep." 02 sank her teeth in again, and to prevent Izuku from screaming, she covered his mouth with her hand, and with the other she began to grope his crotch. Izuku. "Damn, I knew I shouldn't have let her drink that wine with alcohol." 02 stopped biting him and began giving him hickeys and licks all over his neck, then removed his mouth so he could speak. Izuku. Excited 02, "Stop. You're not in your right mind." 02. Excited, "I want to do it with darling." Izuku. "Damn it, 02, I told you not to drink Vi." He couldn't finish because he was being kissed by 02. She laid him down on the bed and climbed on top of him while they were still locked in a kiss. 02 removes the lower part of her clothing, leaving her in her bra and revealing her ample assets, and then rips off Izuku's shirt, showing off her large defined body. She took a lipstick out of her pocket, applied it all over her lips, put it away, and began kissing Izuku all over his body, leaving lipstick marks. Then the door opens, revealing Inko. Inko. "Hey Izuku, have you seen where I left the?" He couldn't finish because of the scene unfolding before his eyes. Izuku. Excited, "Mom, help." 02 covers his mouth. Inko. Blushing, "Sorry, I didn't know you were in the middle of something. I let you get back to what you were doing. I just remembered where I left what I was looking for. Good night to all." Inko leaves there with her face as red as a tomato and puffing out smoke like a locomotive. Chapter 4 Grape. Narrator. 02 continued to shower Izuku with kisses all over his body while Izuku remained still, letting himself be carried away. 02 began unbuttoning her pants with one hand, put his hand inside, and felt something big and hard, making her lick her lips. 01. "I want to eat darling's meat stick." Izuku. 02, "You still have time to react, because if you keep going like this, I don't plan to stop no matter how much you ask me to." Izuku. "So you better think about it very carefully." 02. "I want darling to buck me until I can't anymore." Lemon skipped. 02. "Tired, that's it, no more, I'm too tired to continue today." Izuku. "Tired, okay 02, get some rest. You've done a great job. It's best if we sleep." 02, "Good night darling." Izuku. "You too, 02, good night." So the two of them fell asleep because of all the commotion they had caused throughout most of the night. Chapter 5 Training. Narrator. It's a new day. The sun's rays were beginning to appear in Izuku's room, causing him to get up first. Izuku. "What a luxurious dream I had last night, I'd better get up." He couldn't finish because he saw 02 on top of him, naked. He also realized that he was naked too. Izuku. "Oh shit, so it wasn't a dream, everything that happened last night was real." At that moment, 02 was beginning to wake up. When she opened her eyes, she saw that she was on top of Izuku, who was naked. Lemon skipped. 02. I didn't know the man had one so big and thick. Izuku. Not everyone. If I have it like this, it's because of my father's genetics. Let's just say he passed it on to me before he left. 02. That thing left me really sore, I can barely feel my legs, and my butt is burning. How did we end up like this? Izuku. You really don't remember? 02. The only thing I remember is that I fell asleep there, nothing more. Izuku. So how is it possible that I remember and she doesn't? I'll figure that out later. Izuku. Okay, I'm going to take a shower and get ready for UA. Do you think you can go in that condition? 02. I think so, just give me a few minutes and I'll be fine. Izuku left the room to take a shower, leaving 02 in the room. 02. I'll say it again, that thing he has between his legs is not normal at all. 02 ran his hand over his privates and could see that some semen was dripping from them. 02. I just hope I don't get pregnant. Time skips. Izuku had already bathed and changed. Now he was eating his breakfast while his mother drank coffee and watched the news. Inko. Oh, and by the way, Izuku, next time try to be more careful. Today the neighbors came to complain to me about the noise you made last night. Izuku, sorry mom. By the way, do you know what happened last night when we got home? Inko. Well, you arrived with 02, carrying her in your arms because she had fallen asleep. You went to put her in the room, and when I came in to ask you something, you were shirtless, with 02 on top of you kissing you. Inko. I had a little trouble falling asleep because of all the noise you guys are making in the room. I doubt you won't remember all that commotion after all that. Izuku. I do remember, but I thought it was all a wet dream I was having. But 02 doesn't remember anything that happened last night. Inko. That's strange, or maybe you two are pretending not to know so you don't have to explain. Don't worry, son, your dad and I were the same way, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Izuku. What? No, that's not it, mom, I mean it. I'd explain, but we don't have time. What could 02 be doing? 02 appears from the hallway, wearing his UA uniform and a red scarf around his neck while eating a chocolate. 02. Okay, I'm ready. Let's go before it gets too late. Izuku. Aren't you going to eat something? 02 turns to look at Izuku but blushes and quickly turns her head away. 02. No thanks, I'm not hungry. Now let's go before it gets too late. 0 walked away, well, limping, since his butt and legs still hurt a little. Izuku. Okay, mom, we're leaving now. See you later. Inko. Goodbye, have a good trip. On the street. Izuku could only watch as 02 limped with every step she took as she walked. Izuku. Hey 02, are you sure this is okay? If you want, I can carry you from here to the train station so you don't have to exert yourself too much. 02. Don't worry, darling, I'm fine. The pain will go away any minute now. Izuku. Well, if you say so, but if you have a problem, just tell me. I'm worried about your safety. 02. Okay, if I don't feel well, I'll tell you instantly. Izuku. Thanks, by the way, are you sure you don't remember anything that happened last night? 02. I already told you, I don't remember anything. The only thing I remember is that we got into the Uber you ordered, and that's it. Izuku. Well, what happened was that you fell asleep the whole trip. When we got home, I left you in bed, and when I went to the bathroom, you woke up out of nowhere and bit my neck. Izuku. Afterwards I fell asleep dreaming that I was doing it with you, but apparently it wasn't a dream, and it was all real. 02. Blushing, what did I do? And why do you remember that and I don't? Izuku. That's what I'm trying to figure out, but I can't find a solution. 02. You think it was that pink liquid that girl accidentally spilled on me? Izuku. That might be true. We have to find her and ask her what was in that perfume, but that will have to wait, but you can't deny that you liked it. 02. Blushing, what are you talking about? That thing you have there left me all sore. Can't you see how I'm walking? Even in this state, I can't deny that I liked it. It was a little painful, but I liked it. I just hope I don't get pregnant. I still haven't learned the safe days for a woman to have sex without protection. Time skips. Our protagonists had already arrived at UA with some time to spare. They entered their classroom and everyone saw 02 limping in, doing something strange. Momo. Midoriya, why is 02 walking like that? Izuku. Nervous, oh, well, it's just that she 02. I fell on my bottom because I didn't notice the floor was wet in the house and I fell, that's why I'm like this. 02. Now Izuku, let's sit down. I want to talk to you about something. So the two of them went to sit down. 02. Hey Izuku, do you know what's on today? Izuku. Let me ask. Hey Ida, do you know what's on today? Ida. Training with Izawa-sensei and All Might. Izuku. Thank you, returns to 02. We're going to have training today. 02. Ash, what a nuisance. I didn't feel like doing anything physical today. Izuku. Well, we just have to hope that training isn't too tough today. Izawa then enters the classroom. Everyone, good morning sensei. Izawa. Good morning students, I have two pieces of news for you. As you know, today is training day and tomorrow we're going to USJ. 02. USJ, what is that? Izuku. Rescue simulators for heroes also count as training. Izawa. Exactly, after the USJ they'll have a week of training since the sports festival is approaching. 02. Sports festival, what's that too? Izuku. These are certain sports that people and heroes do to help them get accepted into their agencies in the future. Since we're in our first year, this is going to be our first sports festival. 02. Those two things sound exciting. Izawa. Well, that's all. I'll see you at the training field. If you're late, I'll punish you by making you clean the bathrooms for a week. Time skips. They were all already at the training field and in front of them were Izawa and All Might. All Might. Well, young ones, today's training will be combat-based, using either quirks or fighting techniques. The challengers will be chosen at random. Izawa. The first to fight will be Mineta vs Denki, those named please enter the arena. That's how all the fights went. Listed of predators. Mineta. Zero. Toru. Momo. Sato. Aoyama. Sai. Mina. Shoji. Koda. Listed Aganators. Shoto. Bakugo. Izuku. Tokoyami. 02. Uraraka. Iida. Bajiro. Jiro. Hiroshima. Izawa. Alright, the next ones to fight are. Then someone raises their hand. Shoto. Professor Izawa, I can choose who I'm going to fight. Izawa. Nola C. All Might. Come on Izawa, let the kid decide. Who will choose his opponent, young Shoto? Shoto. I want my opponent to be 02. All Might. I don't think it's possible. As young 02 can see, she still can't control her powers. If she's gotten this far, it's because of the fighting techniques that young Midoriya taught her. 02. Is All Might sensei here? Am I okay with facing him? Izuku. Are you sure about that, 02? He already has some mastery over his quirk and you're just learning about yours. 02. Darling, don't you worry, I'll be fine, trust me. Izuku. Okay, but if anything goes wrong, I'll jump in right away. So 02 and Shoto climbed onto the platform and both got into fighting positions. 02. I'm only going to ask you one question. Why did you choose me instead of anyone else? Shoto. Can't I face my future girlfriend in a friendly match? 02. What are you talking about? I'll never be your girlfriend. Shoto. They all always say the same thing, but in the end they all fall for it. 02. Grrrr, I'm going to make you regret it. 02 transformed her nails into claws and lunged at Shoto, who was throwing ice spikes, but 02 easily dodged them. Shoto. Ha, you've fallen into my trap. Shoto stomps his foot on the ground, freezing 02's entire waist and preventing her from moving. Shoto. Okay, this ends here. Shoto created a fireball that went straight towards 02, hitting her instantly and sending her flying to the edge of the arena. All Might. Young Shoto, have you gone mad? Izuku 02. Shoto. Sorry, I got carried away and… Suddenly, animal growls were heard. When they saw who was making those noises, it was 02, who was struggling to get up. 02. Angry, I'm going to kill you. Suddenly, 02's appearance is changed to a new one. 02, in her new form, lunged at Shoto again, but he responded with ice spikes. Instead of dodging them, 02 shattered them with her left hand or blocked with her right. Shoto was going to make the same move, but 02 beat him to it. 02. Don't think you're going to beat me again with the same trick. 02, with incredible speed, appeared behind Shoto. With a blow to his back, he sent him flying. As Shoto was about to get up, 02 aimed her tail at Shoto's neck and stretched it out so that the sharp tip pierced him. But before that could happen, the attack was blocked by Izuku, who transformed his hand into that of a thick-skinned kaiju. Izuku. Alright 02, calm down if there's no need to go to such extremes. 02 ignored it and just launched another attack. Izuku. Well, I guess we should put you to sleep so you stop causing trouble. Izuku disappeared out of nowhere using his speed, arriving behind 02, striking her on the back of the neck, knocking her unconscious and deactivating her transformation. Before she could fall to the ground, Izuku caught her bridal style. Izawa. Damn it, that's why I don't let students choose their opponents. Izuku, you take her to the infirmary. Todoroki, you go to the infirmary too. Later I'll see what your punishment is. Almight. Well, young ones, that's all for now, so go to the locker rooms and change. Time skips. Classes had already ended and now Izuku and 02 were on a beach full of trash. 02. Darling, may I ask what we're doing here? Izuku. Easy, I'll give you training. You showed me that your powers and mine are almost the same, so I'm going to train you physically, mentally, and emotionally, so you never lose control again. So here. Throws a bag. Izuku. There are your training clothes. Now go and change. I'll wait here. 02. Okay. 5 minutes later. 02. Well, darling, how do I look in these clothes? Izuku. You look incredibly hexy. 02. Thank you very much. Now let my training begin. Izuku. Let's see if you'll maintain that same attitude after your training. 02 transformed once again into his semi-kaiju form and lunged at Izuku. Izuku transformed into his semi-kaiju form. Chapter 6 Domination. Narrator. It was a new day. Our protagonists were sleeping after a long training session. Now, 02 could maintain her transformation for a few hours without losing control, learning how to transform her body parts into those of a kaiju. But now they were waking up, caused by the sun's rays hitting their faces. 02. Darling, let's skip today, I don't feel like going to UA. Izuku. We can't, remember we have to go on a trip to the USJ today, and if we don't go, Professor Ozawa is going to kill us. 02. You're right, then I'll go to the bathroom first, you get your clothes ready. Izuku. Okay. 02 got out of bed and went to the bathroom while Izuku stared at the ceiling, thinking about something that had happened during 02's training. Flashback. Our porters were lying on the beach sand, exhaling gasps of air because they were so tired. Izuku. Wow, today has been a very busy day, don't you think, 02? 02, that's right darling, although these last few days I've felt somewhat empty. Izuku. What do you mean, how is it empty? 02. Not as empty but as something missing, as if something were missing in my brain like a memory, but I don't know what I remember, since I lived my entire childhood in that laboratory. Izuku takes 02's hand and intertwines it with his own. Izuku. Then let me help you with that. You help me and I'll help you. What do you think? 02. Thank you very much, darling. End of flashback. Izuku. DMMM, I wonder what that memory is that 02 doesn't remember. D. Time skips. Our protagonists were already at UA. Izuku was sleeping in his dorm room while being petted by 02. At that moment, Professor Ozawa entered the classroom. Ozawa. Good morning students, as we already told you yesterday, today we are going to USJ, so go and put on your PE uniforms. So everyone went to the locker rooms to change. Once that was done, they went outside UA where Professor Ozawa was waiting for them along with a bus that would take them to their destination. Ozawa. Alright everyone, get in quickly and in order, we're about to leave. So everyone got on the bus as usual. 02 sat next to Izuku and then Seiya asked 02 something. Seiya. Hey 02, I've been wondering, why is your quirk similar to Midoriya's? Are you two related or something? Izuku. My quirk is from my father. Mom told me that my father ran away from his family because he didn't fit in very well there. 02. I'm sorry, but I don't want to answer you. There are things I don't want to remember, so please don't insist because I don't want to say. Seiya. It's okay, you're not obligated to say it. 02. Thank you very much for understanding. Kirihime. Hey, but what was that transformation like that time? It was incredible. 02. Well, that surprised me too. I didn't know my quirk could do that, but thanks to Izuku, he helped me master it, not completely, but enough to maintain it for a few hours before losing control. Then the bus stops and Professor Ozawa speaks. Ozawa. We've arrived at USJ, so everyone get off the bus now. When they all got off, they could see a large building with the initials USJ in front of it. 02. Wow, what a big building. Uraraka. She's the 13th heroine, I'm a big fan of her. 02. Izuku, who is she? Izuku. She's a heroine who excels at helping others. She can create holes. 13. It's a pleasure to finally meet you young people. Ozawa. 13. Where is Almight? He said he would be here with you. 13. He told me he was going to be delayed a little because something came up. Ozawa. Ah, since we're going to have to start without okay, everyone, let's go inside the facility. So everyone went inside. If they were already impressed by how big it was outside, what a big surprise they were in for. 13. And, we have arrived, welcome to the USJ facilities. Almost everyone was amazed by how big it was inside and its facilities. 02. Don't you think this is incredible, Izuku? How can they stop this? You say this while shaking Izuku with excitement. Izuku. Dizzy Zero-2, stop shaking me. You're making me dizzy. I don't want to throw up my breakfast on you. Zero-2 stopped shaking him, straightened his clothes and hair. Izuku. Hey, is it normal for that hole to be opening up there? Just as he said, a purple hole opened out of nowhere and several people came out of it. The most notable were a guy covered in hands, a purple cloud in an elegant suit, a chicken with asteroids and its brain sticking out, and a kind of black lizard with purple markings. Hirohima. Wow, they even have fake villains. Izawa. Those aren't fake villains, they're real. Shigaraki. I hope you're having a good day, heroes. We've come to kill Almight, but I don't see him anywhere. Kurogiri. According to our reports, he was supposed to be here. Shigaraki. Then we must bring him here. Anyone who kills a student or a teacher will have their reward increased. Izawa. Iida, you're the fastest, escape to UA and warn the teachers that we're under attack. 13, you protect the students. Iida. Understanding sensei. Iida, using his quirk, left there in the direction of UA. Izuku. He didn't think twice before leaving. 13. Everyone stay behind me, I'll protect you. Above them appears the purple guy transformed into a cloud. Kurogiri. Excuse me, but I'm going to have to separate you. Before falling into the portals created by the villain Izuku, he grabbed Zero-2 and they both went into the portal that appeared below them. The place where they ended up falling was in the water section along with two others. Izuku 0-2, ESTA-SBN. 0-2. Yes, I'm fine. Izuku. It seems we were the only ones to fall here. Seiya. Mineta and I fell here too, you know. Izuku. Where did you guys come from? Or rather, how did you end up with us? Seiya. I don't have enough strength to give you a good punch. Then they are surrounded by villains. Mineta. If I'm going to die, at least I'm going to touch some boobs. He was hit by a lick from Seiya. Izuku looked around and saw a ship, so he had an idea. Izuku. I have an idea, I'll take out my wings, I'll distract him while you guys get on that ship and climb the wall. 0-2 darling no. Izuku, having already taken flight, began attacking the villains from the air while the others climbed onto the ship and then scaled the wall. But a villain saw them and lunged towards them, but 0-2 stood in front of him like a shield, closing her eyes and waiting for the attack, but nothing happened. When she opened them, she saw that the attack had been blocked by a spear she possessed. When she saw herself, he saw that he had white armor with red lines. Izuku. Another transformation, how many does he have? 0-2. I didn't know I could do this, but I'd better use it before it deactivates. 0-2 launched an attack on the villains, while Izuku joined them. Once they finished with the villains, they went to the center where they saw that Professor Aizawa was being riddled with bullets by the Nomu. 13 was missing his other half. Without thinking twice, Izuku kicked the Nomu, sending it flying. Izuku. 0-2, take Professor Aizawa from here. 0-2. Okay, but what about you? Izuku. Don't worry, I'll be able to handle him. Take him to the others. 0-2 simply nodded and took the professor away with the others. The beast called Nomu recovers and attacks Izuku, who does the same, engaging in hand-to-hand combat. Shigaraki. Hey Kurogiri, answer this question for me. The Nomu was made to kill Almight, the #1 hero, who left the master faceless with a single blow, right? Kurogiri. That's right, because the question. Shigaraki. Then explain to me how a child is fighting something that was created to kill Almight. Kurogiri. I don't really know. Shigaraki. Damn, what a scam, the doc told me. Hey lizard, go and help your partner. The lizard just nodded and began to glow, then disappeared out of nowhere, only to reappear behind Izuku, grab his leg, whip him a few times, and throw him towards the Nomu, who with a punch, sent him flying towards a building, causing him to fall on top of it. 0-2 DARLINGA circumflex A circumflex A circumflex. 0-2 leaped up and appeared above the Nomu, and with her spear she slashed it diagonally, making it bleed. With the bar of her spear, she stopped the blow of the lizard, who disappeared and reappeared behind 0-2, but she dodged the blow that was going straight for her head, but she didn't see that the Nomu grabbed her foot and slammed her to the ground. She saw that the lizard was going to stomp on her head, but she moved by rolling, preventing her head from being crushed. She got up, embedded her spear in the Nomu's chest, pulled it out in a single, spinning motion, cutting the lizard's throat, but the Nomu grabbed her by the head. He slammed her to the floor again, but this time he didn't let go. Then he grabbed her by both arms, preventing her from moving. At that moment, she received a blow to the stomach from the lizard, who delivered consecutive blows, causing 0-2 to spit blood and her armor to begin to break. Kurogiri. Shigaraki, don't you think that's enough? Shigaraki. Okay, let him play with her and just keep her for good. The Nomu threw her down, leaving her face down. The lizard put its foot on her head and began to exert force, cracking the helmet. 02. Crying, darling, please, I don't want to die. At that moment, the rubble where Izuku was standing flew away and from it came the roar of a monster. The Nomu and the lizard moved away a little, leaving 02 there. Izuku emerged from the rubble, but in a new form. When he saw 02's condition, he let out a powerful roar of anger and lunged at the two monsters, grabbing them by the head and slamming them to the ground. Shigaraki Kurogiri, vi preparando un portal por si esto no funciona. Izuku ordered the lizard to crash into a wall and focused solely on the Nomu. The first blow he struck the Nomu was on its arm. The blow was so strong that it tore it off as if it were a sheet of paper. But the arm grew back. Izuku, not wanting to waste time, looked for a weak point and noticed its exposed brain. So he grabbed him by the head, ripped it off, and bit off his brain. After finishing with the Nomu, he went to find the lizard but saw that it wasn't there. So he turned his gaze towards the two remaining subjects and it was with him. So he launched an attack, but something stopped him. Shigaraki. Before you attack us, don't you have a damsel in need of your help? Izuku turned his gaze towards 02, seeing that she was badly injured. He then looked back at the three who were about to cross a portal. Izuku left them and went to 02 to help her. Shigaraki. Haha, love working its magic, that's why love is a double-edged sword. And so the three of them left. Izuku was about to take 02 to the hospital, but then his transformation ended. Izuku. Why did I transform and why does everything look blurry? At that moment, Izuku collapsed to the ground from lack of energy, but before he fainted, he linked his hand with 02's. Lines began to appear on Izuku's arm, leading to 02's hand, before he finally collapsed. The door was destroyed by reinforcements, but then they saw the whole mess, indicating they had arrived too late. Chapter 7. The sports festival is approaching. Narrator. We can see a completely snowy place, while in the snow we could see 4 small footprints of children, who seemed as if they were running from something or someone. One was a boy and the other a girl with red skin, long pink hair and 2 red horns sticking out of her forehead. The 2 of them were running from some people in uniform and with weapons. Quick. Don't let that kid escape with the test subject. You don't have to go far. 02, hold on a little longer, we're almost losing them, just a little longer. 02 Hiro no Pudomas. Then the infant's legs are tied with ropes as they fall into the snow. At that moment, one of the guards caught up to them and climbed on top of 02. She turned to look at Hiro, but he was knocked out by the handle of another guard's gun. Your cardio ends here, kids, good night. When he was about to hit 02 to put her to sleep. Suddenly Ella wakes up on a hospital bed, realizing she is no longer a child, indicating it was just a dream. 02. Hiro, I wonder who he is and why I had that strange dream. Izuku. Suddenly, 02 was flooded with memories of what had happened earlier. She got up from the stretcher quickly, she was going to head towards the door, but it was opened by Izuku. 02, seeing him, ran towards him to hug him, and he returned the hug. 02. Izuku, I'm so glad you're okay, I was really worried about you. Izuku. I'm the one who should be worried about you. You were there with Professor Aizawa and 13, who took the most damage in the attack. 02. I don't care about that, what I want to know is if you're okay. Izuku. Don't worry, I'm fine. My wounds healed quickly thanks to my quirk. I just needed to rest a bit to regain my energy. 02. That makes me happy, and how are the others? Izuku. They're okay, all things considered. Here, I brought some clothes. I'll be outside waiting for you. 02. Okay, I'm coming out now. Izuku. Okay, I'll wait for you behind the door. 5 minutes later. 02. Okay, I'm ready, let's go. 02. And what happened while I was asleep? Izuku. When I woke up, my mother was still by my side. They told us that what happened was an attack by a group calling themselves the League of Villains, and their goal was to kill Almight. 02. And what happened after that? Izuku. Due to recent events, classes had to be suspended for 2 whole days, so we have 2 days off. What do you want to do? 02. I want to get out of here, get some fresh air, and eat something sweet. Izuku. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's do it. So the two went towards the door. When 02 was about to open it, Izuku got there first and opened it for her. When they were about to go down the stairs, out of nowhere 02 was picked up by Izuku. When they got down, he carefully put her down from his arms. 02. Hey Izuku, are you okay? Izuku. Yes, I'm fine, and you? 02. I'm fine, but you're acting a little strange. Izuku. Strange in what way? 02. You know that, just forget it and let's keep walking. They continued walking, but Izuku was behind 02, which made it strange, so she stopped and Izuku did too, walking a few centimeters. Tired of it, she takes his hand and puts him by her side and the two walk peacefully. When they are about to cross a street, Izuku picks her up again and crosses the street with 02 in his arms. When they reached the other end of the street, he helped her out, took her hand, and they continued walking. 02. Okay, this guy has something he doesn't want to tell me. He's being very chivalrous with me. Does he want to repeat what happened that night? I don't know if I can this time. I still have aftereffects from how big that was. A small shiver ran down 02's spine as she remembered that night. After walking a little further, they finally arrived at the establishment where they went inside and sat down at a table with 2 chairs. Waitresses. Good morning, what would you like? 02. I want a tres leches cake. Izuku. I'll have a strawberry and vanilla milkshake. Waitress. Okay, I'll bring them right away. The waitress went to the kitchen to give orders to the other employees. 02. Now then, Izuku, tell me what's going on with you. I'm not complaining, but too much of anything is bad. Izuku. I already told you, I have nothing, I'm just worried about you, that's all. 02. Okay, I'll believe you. Oh, by the way, I had a really weird dream today. Izuku. So, what was that dream about? 02. Well, I saw my little self running in the snow with another boy named Hiro. We were running from the guards, but they caught us and put us to sleep. After that, I woke up. Izuku. Hiro, I don't remember seeing his name in the files where they had you locked up. Do you think he's part of what you're missing? 02. Maybe, but that's in the past now. I'm with you now, and that's more than enough for me. Izuku. I wonder what will happen when she remembers everything. From what I understand, there was a boy in those labs named Hiro, and the two of them spent a lot of time together. Then the waitress arrived with their orders. 02 took his and started eating it. Izuku. I guess she'll want to find him, but who am I to stop her? He was her emotional support through all that torment. She'll want to get back with him, no doubt about it. At the end of the day, I'm just the purple flower, well he's the yellow flower, haha. 02. Hey Izuku, what's wrong? Why aren't you drinking your drink? Izuku. Oh, sorry, I was just thinking about something. 02. So, what was that? Izuku. It doesn't matter that her heart beats for someone else even if she doesn't remember, so God please give me more time to be with her please. Izuku. Well, I was just thinking about how beautiful you look today. 02. Okay, no doubt about it, Izuku wants to buck me again. Well, sooner or later we'll do it again. Thank you so much, you look cute today too. So the two continued eating their desserts and once they had finished, they left, but not before paying the bill. Izuku. Hey 02, I'm thinking of going to the beach, what do you think? 02. Well, I'm curious to see a beach, so let's go, but I don't have any beach clothes, and neither do you. Izuku. Don't worry, they always have beachwear stalls there. We bought some there. 02. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go to the beach. 02 took Izuku by the hand and started running. Izuku. Hey, wait, you're going to end up voting for me. Time skips. Our protagonists were already on the beach with their swimsuits on. 02. Wow, this one looks really beautiful, don't you think, Izuku? Izuku. Of course, 02. Our protagonists immediately went to the beach where they spent their time playing together and swimming all day until evening began to fall. These two were still in the water, except that 02 was sitting on a rock looking at the sky. Meanwhile, Izuku was floating around when a turtle landed on his stomach. Even they don't know where that turtle came from or how it appeared. After a few minutes the sun sets and the moon rises, making it night. Izuku fixes his gaze on 02, only to be mesmerized by the sight before him. Izuku. This girl has definitely changed me for the better. It's a shame her heart already beats for someone else, and that's only going to get stronger when she recovers all her memories. Izuku. Hey 02, what do you say we go? It's getting dark. 02. Okay, fine, let's go. 02, Izuku jumped into the water, took the turtle off, put it in the sea, and it waved goodbye with one of its arms. Izuku. A race to see who gets to the shore the fastest. 02 Oki. Izuku. 1, 2, 3, yeah. So the two swam to see who would reach the shore first, and the winner was Izuku. 02. It's not fair, you cheated. Izuku. What do you mean, know how to lose, mommy? I won fairly and cleanly. 02. Since I'm going to change. Izuku. Wait, first we have to go to the changing rooms, aren't you planning to do it here? 02. But it's just you and me, so what's the problem? Izuku. Well, maybe someone will come and. 02, with a mischievous smile, approaches Izuku. 02. And what, as far as I know, only you and I are here. You see, someone else. Izuku. Well, no, I only see you. 02. Exactly, only you and I are here. 02 begins to kneel. Izuku. Hey 02, what are you doing? 02. Isn't it obvious? Mommy is hungry and wants daddy's milk. Lemon skipped. Izuku. Tell me, did you like your food? 02. Of course, darling, I liked it a lot. Izuku. Haha, I'm glad to hear that. Now, come on, I'll help you up so we can get changed and go home so we can continue there. 02. Of course, darling. Time skips. Now both were changed and walking towards the house while holding hands. Izuku. Do you have any plans for tomorrow, since we have 2 days off? 02. I honestly don't know, but how are we going to explain to Inko why my stomach is a little bloated? Izuku. You stay calm and I'll be nervous, I'll think of something. 02. Okay, I trust you that you won't say the first stupid thing that comes to mind. So our protagonists continued their walk while talking about other things that were not very important. Chapter 8. A change of view of the world. Narrator. It was a new day, the sun was beginning to rise, its rays streaming through Izuku's window. He was now sleeping naked, as he and 02 had had a very eventful night. Izuku was starting to wake up because of the sun's rays, but also because he felt something wet on his hennis, so he woke up and lifted the sheets and got a pleasant surprise. Izuku. So early and you're already hungry, 02. 02. Actually, it's 12 noon. Since I was feeling a bit hungry, I decided to have some of your milk to calm me down. Izuku. Well, I'm hungry too, so you already know the pose. They continued like this for a few minutes until they both saw each other at the same time, satisfying their lust a little. After their little escapade, they went to bathe together. Once they finished bathing, they went to change and went down to the living room where Inko was, watching TV while drinking a cup of coffee. Inko. Guys, it's good you're awake. Your food is already served on the table, eat it before it gets colder. Izuku. Thanks mom. So the two of them sat down to eat while they chatted, Inko watching TV, watching her favorite television series. Once they finished eating, they went to Inko's. Izuku. Something new on TV, mom. Inko. No, nothing new. The news hasn't said anything relevant yet. What are your plans for today? Izuku. Well, to be honest, I don't know. What about you, 02? Do you have something in mind? 02. Well, I was thinking of training a bit, since tomorrow is the sports festival, they're only going to give us enough time to prepare. Izuku. You're right, we'd better train a bit. Come on, let's put on our workout clothes. 02. Of course. The two went back up to the room to change their clothes. A few minutes passed and they both came downstairs already changed. 02. We'll see you later, ma'am, Inko. Izuku. Bye mom, see you later, we'll be back by 5. Inko. I hope things go well for both of you, take care of each other. Our protagonists were already outside. Once they left the apartments, they decided to have a race, with the loser buying drinks for the winner. And the finish line was a park about 3 blocks from here. They got ready, took a breath, and started running as if their lives depended on it. Each time one increased his speed to catch the other accelerated to prevent being overtaken. They continued until they reached the park, resulting in a tie. Izuku. That was a good race, don't you think, 02? 02. I certainly believe that, darling, now I'm too thirsty. Izuku. Come on, there's a drink stand nearby. They went to the drink stand, bought 2, and went to sit on some benches that were nearby. 02. Hey Izuku, answer this question for me. Izuku. What's your question, 02? 02. Because you're always on the defensive with everyone, except your mother and me. Izuku. Let's just say I'm not very good at making new friends. Every time I try, I just end up making more enemies. Besides, I feel like it's a waste of time. 02. So I'm a waste of time. Izuku. What? Of course not. You're different from everyone else. You don't go around saying, look how cool I am for being a rich girl, or don't talk to me because I'm cold and have traumas, or follow orders to the letter, etc. Izuku. But you're not someone relaxed and fun. I feel like I'm never bored with you. 02. So if I'm not a waste of time, neither will the others be. I'm not forcing you to socialize with them. You can socialize with more people than just those from UA. 02. We just have to keep looking. Izuku. Just like I did with you. 02. Just like you did with me. Izuku. Well, I think I'll give it a try. Besides, what do I have to lose anyway? 02. That's the spirit. Now let's finish our drinks and get on with our training. Izuku. You already roared. The two continued their training, and they were like that for almost the entire afternoon until 5 o'clock, at which point they started heading home. 02. I asked what your mother was cooking today. Izuku. It's definitely something delicious, I can assure you of that. Then they see a guy steal a woman's purse and throw her to the ground. Izuku and 02 went towards the woman. 02 helped the woman, while Izuku went after the thief. Izuku. Come back here, coward. Don't run away. Izuku began to increase his speed to catch the thief, but just as he was about to succeed, someone appeared from the ground and punched the thief, knocking him out. Izuku, surprised by this, didn't have time to stop and ended up crashing into the guy who came out of the ground. Ouch, hey, watch where you're going, that hurt a lot. Izuku. Look who's talking, the one who appeared out of nowhere. You should be more careful where you're going to spawn. What were you doing chasing the thief? Izuku. Isn't it obvious? I was chasing him to catch him because he stole that bag. Well, I was also passing by with some friends and I started following him too. Then 02 caught up with them and was accompanied by 2 others. 02. Darling, it's good that I caught up with you. Look, someone else saw the robbery and they came to help me. Hello, I'm Nijire Hado, nice to meet you. I am, Tatamaki. Izuku. Nice to meet you, I'm Izuku Midoriya. And I suppose you've already met 02. Guys, it's good you're here, the thief has already been captured. Izuku. Hey you magician, aren't you going to introduce yourself? Oh yes, sorry, nice to meet you, I'm Mirio Tagata. Izuku. Okay, now what do we do with him? Pointing at the thief. Mirio. Don't worry, we'll return the purse to the lady and we'll take the guy to the police station. Izuku. Okay, we're not going, since there's a sports festival at the school tomorrow and I don't want to arrive sleepy. Nijire. Wait, you guys are from UA. 02. That's right, we're first years. Are you guys first years too? Mirio. Of course we're in 3rd year. Izuku. So you guys are just going to be watching the festival. Mirio. That's right, I'll make sure to be watching them at the festival. Izuku. I preferred it wasn't 02 nudges him. I would be glad if you were supporting us, now if you'll excuse us we'll be leaving. Mirio. Likewise, very good guys, let's go. So they all went their separate ways and left. Izuku. Why did you elbow me? 02. It was so you wouldn't be rude. Someone is going to take the time to support us and see how we perform. Besides, what did you promise me about socializing? Izuku. Yes, I know, you don't have to repeat it. Let's hurry, I want to get home as soon as possible. 02. Okay, you want to race? Izuku. Okay, on the count of 3 we run. Izuku 1. 02 2. Izuku 3. 02 Izuku. Now. So the two started racing to see who would get home first. Chapter 9 Sports Festival Part 1. Narrator. Today was the day the sports festival had arrived where all the people of Mufutafu gathered to watch the future heroes participate in different challenges. People went to UA to see them and those who couldn't watch it on their televisions or phones, which were broadcasting live. Meanwhile, what were our protagonists doing? Well, they were still sleeping peacefully in the house. Just then, Izuku's alarm clock rings again. He decides to turn it off, but then he checks the time and sees that it's almost late, making him get out of bed. Izuku. 02, get up. We're getting late. 02. What's the rush? They're just classes. Izuku. The problem is that today is the sports festival, and if we don't arrive for the first event, we'll be disqualified. 02 doesn't waste any time and also gets out of bed in one swift motion. 02. Well, what are you doing standing there? Move it. 02 started pushing Izuku towards the bathroom. Izuku. Hey, wait, are we both going to take a bath at the same time? 02. Of course, we don't have much time. Besides, you and I have seen each other without clothes, so let's go inside. So the two of them went into the bathroom to take a bath. After about 5 minutes, the two left the room while changing, but then Izuku tripped and grabbed onto 02, but it wasn't much help, causing them both to fall down the stairs. When they reached the last step, they were magically already changed. Izuku. I hope how did we do that? 02. Who cares, let's go. So the two of them left the house and started running as if the devil himself were chasing them. In the AU. Momo. Iida, have you seen Izuku or 02? I haven't seen him anywhere. Iida. That's exactly what I was going to ask you. I just hope they show up soon, since the festival is about to start in just a few minutes. At that moment, the doors burst open, revealing Izuku and 02, exhaling large breaths of air. Iida. Guys, what time is this to be arriving? The festival is about to start. Izuku. Can you shut up for a moment? You don't know how far we had to travel to get here. 02. Anyway, you know what the first activity we're going to do is going to be. Momo. It's still unknown, I think it's time to go where the others are. The four went to where the other UA students were. They witnessed how people had come to see them. 02. Wow, people really like these kinds of events, just look at the number of spectators. Out of nowhere, Present Mick starts talking. Present Mick. Good morning, beautiful people. I hope you're all doing well, because today is the day of the sports festival. He began to give a speech and then proceeded to introduce all the classes. Present Mick. Well, as you can see, the first activity our students will do is an obstacle course. Each part of the course will have a different obstacle. Present Mick. If I were you, I'd be careful, because the obstacles are very well hidden all over the track. So everyone to your positions because the race is about to start in 3, 2, 1, start running. The first contestants to reach the finish line were Izuku, 02, Shoto, and Bakugo. Present Mick. Now we're going to take a break, so if you have anything to do, go now. But the others. 02. That was fun, and I like the part where we flew through the minefield, that was very clever. Izuku. Don't thank me. Sometimes my brain works better when I'm under pressure. How about we go get some drinks? I'm a little thirsty. The two went straight to the cafeteria to get some drinks, watched by Shoto, but he was more focused on 02's rear end. Shoto. One way or another, you're going to make me 02, no matter what it takes. Shoto walked away to another place while taking out his phone and dialing someone specific. Chapter 10 Sports Festival Part 2. Narrator. After the first event ended, our contestants went to take a break of a few minutes. Now we return to our protagonists who were drinking some beverages to replenish their energy. 02. What do you think the next round will be about, darling? Izuku. I don't know, but something tells me it was a bad idea to come in first place. 02. Why do you say that? That was the goal of the race, wasn't it? Izuku. Actually, it was not about being disqualified. Finishing in first place was an option. 02. But hey, it's never bad to come in first place. Time skips. Now we can see all the participants who qualified, focusing our attention on Izuku and 02. Izuku. What were you saying? Coming in first place is never a bad thing. 02. Okay, I spoke too soon, but how was I supposed to know that the first ones to arrive would get 1000 points and be the target in the next round? Izuku. And now that everyone's going to come after us, nobody's going to want to team up with us. 02. Ah, damn it, what are we going to do now? Izuku. You stay calm and I'll be nervous, we'll come up with something. Then someone touches Izuku's shoulder. When he turns around, he sees that it was Tokoyami. Tokoyami. I saw that you guys were short of members, I was wondering if I could join you. Izuku. Of course, but we're missing one more and time is almost up. Then 02 comes with someone. 02. Darling, I found the last one we were missing, she is sorry, what was your name again? Mei. Don't worry, I'm not very good at remembering names either. My name is Mei Hatsum, and I want to join your team. Izuku. Well, you're in. Now we're ready. I'll be the head and you guys will be the body. Time was up, the teams were already formed, all ready for the chivalry competition. All the contestants had their sights set on Izuku's team. Izuku. Alright, I want you all on your guard. They're coming at us from the left, right, above, and below. Don't hold back. This is win or win. Present Mick 3, 2, 1, let's go a circumflex a circumflex a circumflex. All the contestants went towards Izuku to remove his blindfold. Izuku. Mei, get us out of here by flying with a jetpack. Mei. Right away, very good my dear baby, please don't explode right now. So, with their jetpacks, they got them out of that situation by staying in the air, but those with long-range quirks started attacking them. Izuku. Tokoyami, use your dark shadow to prevent the attacks from reaching us. Tokoyami entendido. Tokoyami, using dark shadow, began to deflect all attacks, sending them to other participants or to the same ones who were sending them. Izuku. Alright, it's time to touch the ground. 02, create some distraction so they don't see us when we land. 02 entendido darling. With his left arm he extended it and began to shoot thorns that, upon touching the ground, began to release smoke, blinding the contestants and spectators of what was happening. Izuku. Very well, it's about descending. They began to descend, eventually touching the ground. Izuku. As I told you before, I will be your head, which also means being your eyes and ears. You will be my body, understanding. The three high. Izuku began to sharpen his senses, hearing footsteps approaching them. Izuku. Enemy at 12 o'clock, dodge it quickly. By following Izuku's instructions, they were able to dodge some rocks that were coming towards them. Suddenly the smoke was dissipating, allowing everyone to see clearly. Izuku. Okay, our advantage is gone. Our points are enough to pass. We don't need to take them from the others. Let the others handle it. Izuku. We just have to protect the headband I have on my head. Izuku. So ladies and gentlemen, we have to give it our all against those sons of bitches. They spent the whole time attacking and dodging attacks, preventing him from removing their blindfolds. Izuku. Alright guys, we're getting there, it won't be long now, hang in there. But suddenly Mei, Tokoyami, and 02's legs were frozen. The cause was Shoto, who was approaching them with his team, but from the other side came Bakugo, with the same objective, but Bakugo launched himself towards them. But the bell rang, causing Bakugo to fall to the floor and Shoto's team to stop. Izuku. Jop Yuto laughing at Bakugo. 02. Ueju, we've advanced to the next round. Well done team. Izuku. Yes, I can say the same about you guys. You did a great job. Let's go get some rest, you deserve it, team. Izuku. Come on, I'll help you team. Once they left the ice, they went to the cafeteria for something to eat, but before they could leave, Shoto called Izuku. Izuku. What do you want, Todoroki? Shoto. I need you to come with me, I have something to tell you. Izuku. Okay, but make it quick, I don't have that much time. The two of them walked until they reached a sparsely populated place. Izuku. Okay, what is it you want? Shoto. How much are you offering for 02? Izuku. What? Shoto. As you heard, how much are you offering for her? Izuku. Hey, I don't know what's gotten into you, or if you're playing a joke on me, this isn't funny at all. Shoto. This is no joke, I'm serious. Izuku. Well, forget about that, 02. She's not an object for you to come and offer me money for. She's already with me. Izuku. If that's all, then I'm outta here. Izuku left, leaving Shoto alone in that place. Shoto. Well, you didn't accept willingly, so now it'll be by force, whether you like it or not. Shoto took out his phone and dialed someone. Shoto. Yes, he didn't want to do it the easy way, so proceed to the next step. I want you to do it after the sports festival. I'll make sure she ends up in the infirmary and unconscious for the entire festival until it's over, and then you guys take over. I put his phone away and he left. The day I woke up completely crazy, folks. Chapter 11 Sports Festival Part 3. Narrator. We can see how the four of them finished eating, but Izuku was still thinking about what Shoto had told him. He had to keep an eye on 02 if he wanted nothing to happen to her. At that moment, the cafeteria speakers sounded, indicating it was time to return to the arena. Only those from classes A and B remained, along with some from other classes. Izuku. Hey, does anyone know what this is going to be about this time? Tokoyami. I don't know, but I have a feeling it's going to be something that requires the full use of the body. Izuku. I just hope all this ends soon. I'm getting tired of entertaining so many people. I feel like a prostitute. Mei. Why do you say that? Izuku. Well, a lot of people are coming to see us, including the heroes, and if we meet their expectations, they'll let us go to their agencies. Izuku. Just like prostitutes, people go to them and if they like them, they pay for them to have them for a certain amount of time, like an hour or a day. Tokoyami. I hadn't seen it that way, but thanks for giving me another point of view. Mei. How do you put up with him? How did you two become a couple since you and he are completely different? Referring to 02. 02. Sometimes love flows where you least expect it. Mei. Let's go to the stadium right away. The four of them left, and once they arrived at the stadium they could see a fighting arena, giving them an idea of what this was all about. Present Mick. Finally we have reached the final round, ladies and gentlemen. My congratulations to those who have made it this far, but here it will be decided who will be victorious, where only 3 contestants will be the winners of the sports festival. Present Mick. The final activity will be a battle, either quirk-based or hand-to-hand combat, where 2 contestants will enter the arena and fight for victory. Whoever is knocked out of the arena or can no longer fight will be disqualified, and the winner will advance to the next round. Present Mick. The first to fight are Izuku Midoriya from the Hero Class 1A against Tatashi Shinso from the General Studies class. Tokoyami. From what I've heard about him, he has a hypnosis quirk, but they never said how he uses it against his opponents. Tokoyami. So if you see anything strange about him, be careful he doesn't put you in a hypnotic trance. Izuku. Okay, I'll be careful. Entering the fighting arena. In the following minutes we can see Izuku about to leave the fighting arena on his own while being watched by Shinso. Mei. Well, now we know how her quirk works. 02. We have to do something. Darling can't be eliminated on the first try or else they'll call him a fool and he won't last long. Though Koyami. But what can we do without getting disqualified for getting involved in the battle? 02 began looking around to see if anything would be useful until he noticed his shoe. 02. I have an idea, but I need your help. 02 took off his shoe. 02. Tokoyami, use Dark Shadow to throw this shoe at his head and May, with your quirk, you'll guide it so it doesn't miss. Tokoyami took the shoe, gave it to Dark Shadow, and Dark Shadow positioned himself to throw it. May. Move your arm slightly upwards, then move it to the left and then throw it with all your might. Dark Shadow followed the instructions to the letter and threw the shoe, hitting Izuku on the head and bringing him back to his senses. Izuku. Ouch. Who threw that shoe at me, and why am I on the edge of the arena if I was in the middle of the I get it hypnotized me. Izuku turned around and moved away from the edge of the sand. Izuku. Okay, that was good, I didn't see that coming, I give you credit for that, but it's not time to play anymore. Before I take you outside, can you tell me your name? Shinso. My name is Hitachi Shinso, what's yours? Izuku. Well, my name is Izuku Midoriya, try not to wear him out so much, okay? Shinso. You're just a damn braggart. Izuku ignored him and only began to approach Shinso, causing him to back away. Shinso tried to insult him so he would throw the ball back and catch him again, but it seemed his technique wasn't working, causing him to start moving away as Izuku approached him. Then Shinso falls out of the arena, leaving Izuku as the winner. Present Mick. I don't know what just happened, but Izuku Midoriya from Class 1 is the winner. Shinso. TKS damn it, I worked so hard to get here and I'm the first one eliminated. Izuku. You're Shinso, aren't you? Your quirk is interesting. You have potential, you just need to know how to use it. Shinso. Are you serious or are you just making fun of me? Izuku. No, I'm serious. You just need to be well polished, you know. I can recommend a hero who can help. Shinso. You're weird, but I like you. Izuku helped Shinso to his feet and the two of them went to join the others. Izuku. Guys, this is Hitachi Shinso, this is Mei, Tokoyami, and 02. Shinso. It's a pleasure to meet you all. Mei. You can say the same. 02. Is it just me, or do you look a bit like Professor Ozawa? Tokoyami. Now that you mention it, that's true. Shinso. And who is that Professor Ozawa? Izuku shows him a picture of himself. Mei. Well, it's not a lie, they do have a certain resemblance, I think they would look even more alike if you dyed your hair black. Shinso. Oh no, it can't be, but I think it's better than being bothered about my quirk. I can tolerate this. The fights continued between classes 1A, 1B, and some from other classes who made it to the end. Then came Tokoyami's fight against Momo, which Tokoyami won. After that came Mei's fight against Iida, but she said she was giving up, the reason being that she just wanted to test her new babies. Next up is 02 against Shoto Todoroki. Izuku. I wish you luck, 02. Try not to get too confident. Mei, you can, girl, in signs, who's in charge? Tokoyami. I feel like something bad is about to happen, but I don't know what. Shinso X2. 02 climbed onto the arena. Shoto was already there, watching her with a smile that only sparked pride. 02. Why are you so happy? Shoto. And how could I not be, when I'm about to face a beauty like you? 02. Hey, you know I have a boyfriend, right? Shoto. It's Izuku, no, you know why I'm not making you a deal. 02. And what's that deal? Shoto. If I win, you're coming with me and you can forget about Izuku forever. 02. You're a complete idiot if you think I'm going to accept that. Shoto. Right, my mistake, that wasn't a deal, it was a warning. 02. I'm going to beat the crap out of you. 02 was the first to make a move. Shoto threw ice rocks at her head, but 02 ran in a zigzag pattern to confuse him. Making her come to where he was, she kneed him in the stomach, grabbed his hair, put her other hand on his stomach, lifted him up and slammed him to the ground. Shoto, to get away from her, raised his arm and unleashed a burst of fire, which 02 barely dodged. 02. Idiot, did you want to burn half my face or what? Shoto. Sorry, but if I want to have you, I have to leave you uninhabitable for the entire festival. 02. And you're still going on about that. I told you once and I'll tell you again, I'm already with Izuku. Shoto. Not for long. Shoto covered his arms with ice while setting his feet on fire. 02 activated his claws and reinforced his arms with unbreakable scales, his feet transformed into those of a running kaiju, his horns grew larger, his tail extended, and his teeth sharpened. 02. I just hope you're prepared because I don't intend to show you any mercy. 02 and Shoto lunged at each other, colliding fists. 02 was about to stab Shoto in the neck with the tip of her tail, but he noticed out of the corner of his eye, causing him to back away from her using fire on his feet. Shoto placed his hands on the ground and ice spikes began to appear all over the sand. 02 dodged them as best she could, but sometimes the sharp edges of the spikes grazed her legs, causing scrapes. To clear a path towards Shoto, she began destroying the spikes with her fists and tail. Shoto, seeing that she was approaching, prepared his plan. When she was close to him, he threw frost in her eyes. 02. Ah, I can't see, you damn cheater, fight for real. Shoto. I'm sorry, but I prefer to do this the easy way. 02, not yet having fully recovered her sight, couldn't see well, which Shoto took advantage of, delivering a spinning fire kick to her face, then a kick to her stomach, leaving her breathless, then a punch to her face which was covered in reinforced ice, breaking her nose in the process. Shoto was about to punch him again, but 02 stopped him. 02. Maybe you blinded me, but I still have my horns. Shoto was about to kick her, but he felt something pierce his foot. When he looked, it was 02's tail. Then he received a headbutt to the nose, breaking it. 02. Well, I guess we're even now. Shoto damn, I have to finish this quickly. I can't let my whole plan go to shit. Shoto. Admitted, Izuku is nothing and nobody. Because you're with him, you'll have everything. He's just trash. 02. Shut up already. 02 ran towards him, making Shoto smile, since that was the reaction he was hoping for. When 02 was already close to him, she fell to the ground unconscious while blood came out of the side of her head and a rather large stone made of ice dripped blood. Izuku. 02. Izuku went to her to help her and seeing that she was still breathing, he took her straight to the infirmary. Thus, Shoto was declared the winner, but due to his actions and his dirty fighting style, he was disqualified from the tournament. In the hallways. Shoto. Maybe I was disqualified, but the plan is going according to plan. Takes out his phone. Shoto, my part of the plan is done, now it's your turn. Don't let her see you. If she wakes up and resists, knock her out. But if she comes back with another attack that I didn't inflict, I'll deduct the payment I promised you. That's all for now. Shoto hung up and went to where the others were to see who was going to face off now, to see if they were worth watching. Chapter 12 Sports Festival Part 4, Final. Narrator. Izuku had taken 02 to the infirmary so that recovery girl could treat her wounds, but 02 still hadn't woken up, so he stayed with her. At that moment, his friends entered with a big three. May. How is 02? Izuku. She's okay, but she hasn't woken up yet, so I stayed here with her. When she wakes up, I'll see how things are out there. Okoyami. Bakugo and Uraraka are fighting right now, the fight has just begun. Shinso. Todoroki's fighting style was far from ideal. Blocking his view showed how desperate he was to win. Izuku. And what happened to the Mirio? Due to his fighting style and leaving a student almost to death, he was disqualified from the tournament. Izuku. Thanks, he's lucky because if I had been matched with him, I would have ended up breaking all his bones and that conceited kid face of his. Najire. Don't worry Izuku, you'll see that 02 will wake up soon. Tamaki. But for the time being, we have to let her rest. May. You're right, come on Izuku, we need to see how they're doing. Besides, your next fight will be against Okoyami. Okoyami. I don't intend to show you any mercy out there. Izuku. Haha, I don't plan on saving anything for me in our fight either. Everyone left the infirmary to let 02 rest. Now we can see 02 in a blank space and in front of her was a door that said Forgotten Memories. 02. Is that what I need to be complete? But what will I find there? The only thing I remember is torture throughout my childhood. 02's head starts to hurt. A fragment of her past shows her a young boy with black hair and blue eyes, extending his hand to her. Then the memory fades along with a headache. 02. That's enough. If it's to find out what these memories are, I have to reopen old wounds, then so be it. 02 approached the door, touched the peephole before turning and opening it. He took a deep breath and proceeded to open it, causing a great glow to be seen and voices to be heard. 02. I just hope everything is alright out there and that this doesn't change my life or my relationship with Izuku. 02 proceeded to enter. When she entered, the door closed with her inside. Outside of 02's mind. Outside the facility, a white van could be seen. Inside it were 2 men in the front and 3 in the back, all of whom were well trained in bodybuilding. 1. Well, the client told us that their part is already done. They gave us the blind spots to enter without being seen by the cameras or anyone. 4. Don't worry, boss, this isn't the first time we've kidnapped someone. 2. Yes, but never yet, a student where she's surrounded by heroes and where All Might himself is. If we accept this request, it's because of the large amount they were giving us for the objective. 1. Before you leave, remember one thing. Don't hit the target. The buyer said he left him with a few bruises, and if he sees one that he didn't inflict, he's going to lower the payment he promised us. 5. How much will we lose if we do that? 1. More than half, so be careful because if that happens you will be punished for your disobedience. That's all. Keep your communicators on, make sure you are not seen, that there are no witnesses. Now go. The three men got out of the back of the truck and headed towards the blind spots of the UA to enter without being seen by anyone. In the fighting arena. Bakugo's fight against Uraraka had ended. Bakugo was the winner. Now, Izuku's fight against Tokoyami was next. The two climbed into the fighting arena and assumed fighting stances when the bell rang. Tokoyami, using Dark Shadow, tore pieces of the arena floor and threw them at Izuku. Instead of dodging them, Izuku destroyed them with his own hands, and he destroyed the third rock with a kick. Izuku. Come on, are we 5-year-old kids throwing rocks or what? Tokoyami. Who said that was my attack? Izuku. What do you mean by? Suddenly Izuku is lifted up as a black hand grabs him, and now he is suspended in the air. Izuku. What the hell? Tokoyami. Well, it's an ability that Dark Shadow has. He can stretch his body through objects where there is darkness. Izuku. Impressive, but let's see how strong his grips are when force is applied during the release. Izuku began to struggle to try to break free, and Tokoyami made an effort to try not to let go of Izuku. But suddenly the hand made of darkness exploded, unable to withstand the force Izuku used to break free from Tokoyami's grip. Izuku. How about we leave the tricks for later and start the fight right away? Tokoyami. Sigh well, since. Tokoyami disappears in a whirlwind of darkness, reappearing in front of Izuku with a dark shadow, his fist ready to strike him. Izuku covered himself with his arms in an X shape. Tokoyami Dark Shadow. Izuku. But what do I see? A JoJo reference. When Izuku saw that Tokoyami had an opening, he didn't waste the opportunity and punched him under the snout, causing him to back away from Izuku and rub the spot where he had been hit. Tokoyami. Wow, you gave me a good hit, even Dark Shadow felt it. Izuku. And you're not bad with that JoJo's reference either. Tokoyami. Thank you so much for noticing. Dark Shadow and I have been practicing it for a moment like this. Izuku. Haha, not bad at all, my feathered friend. It's time for one of us to win. Izuku transformed his arms and legs into those of a kaiju. Tokoyami, using Dark Shadow, enveloped himself, forming an armor made of darkness. But the guys in the pickup truck. They had managed to infiltrate UA thanks to the blind spots that had told them where they were, thanks to an access key that Shoto had given them. They managed to enter the infirmary. They opened the door and there they could see 02, still asleep, so they went towards her carefully so as not to wake her. One stayed behind checking the door in case someone came. The other one carried her carefully so as not to wake her. Type 3. Hey, this girl has a great body. Let's have some fun with her before handing her over to the guy. Type 4. You forget what happened the last time we did that. One of us ended up dying because the client had realized what we had done. Type 5. Stop talking and let's go before someone comes and sees us with her. The three men left the infirmary and went out the way they came in, doing everything the same, but instead of going in they were going out until they reached the truck where they got in and tied 02 up from head to toe, and in case he woke up they put a muzzle on him so he couldn't talk. Type 2. Okay, I'm going to call our buyer to let them know their order is ready. They just need to tell us where the exchange will take place. But the combat arena. It had been a fun battle for Izuku and Tokoyami, but in the end, Izuku was the one who ended up winning. Now the four of them were talking calmly. Izuku. Hey, I'm thinking of going to see how 02 is doing. If she's awake yet, who's coming with me? The four of us. I'm going. But then the emergency alarm started to sound and all the exit doors locked, indicating that something was wrong. Izuku. What's happening? Present Mick. Please everyone remain calm. We've just received word that a student from the Hero course has gone missing. So, all civilians please remain calm and Hero Corps students please come to the staff room immediately. Time skips. Everyone was in the teacher's room and the principal was sitting in front of them all. Nezu. The student who just disappeared or rather was kidnapped was Miss 02. Izuku. Wait, what do you mean she was kidnapped? Nezu. That's right, 3 people entered the infirmary. Shoto. But how did they detect them? I told them where the blind spots were, it's impossible they could have detected them. Shoto. Director, how did you know there were 3 of them and that she was kidnapped since the cameras didn't capture anyone except when she disappeared out of nowhere? Nezu. Well, we found out thanks to the fake blind spots we had. We hid the cameras very well so that no one would see them and they would think we were blind in those parts of the building. Izawa. But what I wonder most is how they knew about those blind spots, since they knew where to go and where not to, only the teachers and the principal know about that. Almight. So we started thinking that someone gave those three guys information. At that moment, Shoto falls to the ground with a broken nose and is caught by the collar of his shirt by Izuku, who looked very angry. Izuku. It was definitely you who did all this, wasn't it, you bastard? Speak up already and say that you were the one who caused this. The teachers separated the two to prevent them from hitting each other. Hiroshima. PSSST, Bakugu, shouldn't we do something? Kitsuki. SHHH, be quiet, this is getting good. Nezu. Young Izuku, what do you mean by all that? You know those accusations are serious. Izuku. He told me himself that he would give me money if I gave it to 02. Shoto. That's a lie. How could you believe I'd say that? I'm a hero candidate, for God's sake. Izuku. Don't mention God with that filthy mouth of yours. Besides, if you had the guts to tell me, now have the guts to say it in front of everyone. Shoto. Directos, I don't know what he's saying, please stop him, he's gone crazy. Nezu. Young Izuku, please stop. I know you're worried about your friend. I know she was put in your care and you feel guilty, but it's not your fault. Nobody expected this. Nezu. But please apologize to your partner for accusing him of something he didn't do. Izuku. I'm not going to apologize, not even if I'm dead. I know he did it. I don't have proof, but I also don't have any doubts. Nezu. Well, if you're going to continue like this, I ask that you please leave. You're not in a position to handle this matter. Izuku. Okay, I'm leaving, but not because they kicked me out, but because I wanted to. Izuku left the room accompanied by his friends. Izuku. You guys didn't need to come with me. Mei. Don't worry, I don't belong there, nor Shinso, but Tokoyami does. Tokoyami. A friend is never left alone, but what are we going to do now? Izuku. Actually. I know what to do. They all heard a voice but didn't know where it came from. I'm down here. When they looked down they could see Mirio, which scared everyone. Mirio emerges from the ground laughing. Mei. You idiot, do you want to kill us or what? Mirio. Haha, sorry, I couldn't help it. Then Nijire and Tamaki arrive. Izuku. You said you could help us, but how? Mirio. Well, the director also called us, and since 02 is someone special to you, we're going to give you some information. But what are you going to do after that? Izuku. Isn't it obvious that as soon as I get the information about the case, I'm going to go out and look for her immediately? Tokoyami. I'll accompany you. Mei. I have the perfect babies for this occasion, count me in. Shinso. It'll be fun being detectives, and 02, I liked her, count me in too. Mirio. And with the three of us, we're going to find 02, no matter what it takes. Izuku. Guys, after all this, I want to thank 02 for changing my opinion about people. Thanks to you, I found true friends. Izuku. Alright guys, let's find 02. Chapter 13 begins the search. Narrator. We find ourselves in a laboratory where there were several capsules, and inside them were fetuses and several doctors walking back and forth. In the middle of it all was 02, observing her surroundings, when a doctor passed by her, indicating that she was in her lost memories. She noticed that the capsules had names on them, and one of them had her name on it, indicating that the fetus was her. 02. Wait, if that thing over there is me, that means. That's what the doctors are talking about. Dr. 1. We have to be very careful with these fetuses. Almost all the blood we were able to extract from the queen went into all these clones. The OCTOR2. Something went wrong and these fetuses died along with us. 02. So, that means I'm a clone of someone else, but of whom? 02 noticed some papers on a table, so he went over to them. 02. Let's see if my Russian is still as good as before. File 1. The discovery. File 1 said that some excavators found a giant door while extracting minerals. Not knowing much, they decided to call the Russian forces, but while they were coming, they decided to open it to extract something large before the Russian forces arrived. With their heavy excavation machinery they managed to open the door, 10 people got ready to enter accompanied by flashlights and tools, so they went inside to find what was hidden behind the door. After a few minutes, screams were heard, and from all that darkness emerged enormous monsters. End of File 1. The discovery. 02 didn't understand anything about what those creatures were, who that queen was, or what the reason was for her cloning, so, more determined, she opened the second file. File 2 tests. After the beasts emerged, they killed all the workers, and when the Russian armed forces arrived, they were only able to kill one. The others remained still for a few moments and then went back to the cave, closing it. The Russian president knew what they were. It wasn't the first time he'd seen them. But greed and ambition were too great, so far away from Russia, he set up a laboratory that studied and experimented on the kaiju's corpses, and he benefited from all of it. But he said that if there was a problem, he would deny everything about it. So they sent us equipment and people to continue investigating the cave where we kept finding evidence of kaiju. We realized that their skin is very tough, so we turned it into uniforms for soldiers. We also discovered that their blood, which was blue, had several uses if the right chemicals were used. Thanks to this, we made several weapons that would be sold on the Russian black market, making a lot of money. End of file 2. The tests. 02 wondered why she was born a different color than the other kaiju. Her skin was red, just as her blood was blue. 02. So what changed my anatomy to make me red instead of blue? He deleted file number 2 and opened file number 3. File 3. The clones. Using the same kaiju blood, we tried to make clones, but the moment they became fetuses, they died. It didn't matter what chemicals we mixed them with. Nothing worked. And the kaiju kept getting smarter with each attack. They evolved until one day a small figure, about the age of an 11 or 12-year-old girl, was on top of a snake kaiju. She had a blue body with black lines all over it, 2 blue horns, one coming out of her forehead and the other behind her head. We understood that she was one of them, but what was curious was how she gave orders to the kaiju and klaxosaurs, and they obeyed, even bowing before her, indicating that she was their queen, since every hive needs a queen to survive. So with some effort we managed to extract enough blood to make about 10 clones. We lost many men, but it's all in the name of science. Sacrifices must be made. Thanks to the help of a doctor sent from Japan who called himself Dr. Franks, the cloning of fetuses was very helpful, but when mixed with chemicals, their anatomy changed from blue to red. When they were fetuses, none of them died. They continued their growth, which was somewhat accelerated. When they were babies, they underwent less rigorous tests. We were just studying them. There were 5 boys and 5 girls, and they all had code names. We weren't going to take the time to name them all with real names. At the age of 5, the real tests began. Of the 5 children, only half survived the first test. Now there were only 5 girls and boys left. They all had the abilities of a kaiju and a klaxosaur, but not many had the regeneration gene. Thus, several died until only one test subject remained. She was a girl. Her code name was 02. She had everything, and when I say everything, I mean everything the queen has. So we focused on her, putting her through various tests. We already had a weapon to fight the queen. We just needed to discipline her and learn how to use her to our advantage. End of file 3. The clones. 02. So this is why they created me? They just wanted a weapon to kill with. I'm just a clone made in their image. She saw the last file, so she took it and started reading it. File 4. Experiments with humans. Since the last clone was a complete success, we decided to see what would happen if that blood was mixed with that of a quirkless human and a quirkless person. So we had to kidnap 10 children, 5 quirkless and 5 with quirks. Apparently, when the blood came into contact with children with quirks, it didn't assimilate well and ended up killing them. But with quirkless children, it assimilated completely, giving them kaiju and klaxosaur abilities. So we got rid of the remaining quirkless children, but it seems some guards had strange tastes and had a little fun with them before killing them. End of file 4. Human experiments. 02. You're a bunch of monsters. How could you do that to children? Children who had so much potential. You have no forgiveness from God, you damned wretches. 02. They deserve nothing more than death itself. Its claws and teeth began to sharpen, while its horns grew, while its eyes turned a bright blood red. The whole environment changes. Now we focus on a room where there is a 02 girl still had a red skin and her hair was long with a pale pink color. The little girl was reading a book that contained some drawings. 02. I'm starting to remember that part now. One of the nurses gave me that book. She was the only one who was kind to me. That book was the last thing I heard from her. After that, I never saw her again. At that moment, some nurses entered the room, saw the book the little girl had, one of them approached her, took the book from her, and destroyed it. The little girl was going to attack him, but he just kicked her and injected her with a liquid that put her to sleep. The other one grabbed her like a sack of potatoes, and they took her away to do more tests. 02. Well, here's my question. What happened to that book? She approached the pieces, knelt down, took one of the pieces and saw in the drawing a large white bird. 02. The story was about a great bird whose other half was one separated from her, and she couldn't fly again until she finally found it and was able to fly once more. Again the environment changes, but not that much, being once again the same room, only that on the floor was a small 02, while blood was on top of her. 02. This was the day they went too far with their experiments to such an extent that it was difficult for me to regenerate my torn and destroyed parts. Then the window is destroyed by a large rock, then a boy of about the same age as little 02 enters. The little girl, out of fear, walked away and stood in a corner. Don't be afraid, my name is Hero. I don't want to hurt you. I want to get you out of here. Take my hand. The little girl, somewhat hesitant, moves away from the corner and takes his hand. He leads her through the broken window and grabs onto a branch. Hero. Hold on tight if. He squeezed the handhold and they pulled themselves off thanks to the branch, falling into the snow. Hero. Quick, we have to run before he comes for us. The two started running away from the station until they reached some trees. There was one with a large hole, so they went inside. Hero. We'll be safe here. Hey, what's your name? I forgot to ask yours. The little girl didn't say anything to him because she had no name and couldn't speak. Hero. You don't have one? I know. I'll call you 02, like your code but in English. If you don't like it, we can change it if. 02 small. CC Sarodu. Hero. I'm glad you liked it, you can say my name, Hero. 02 small. Jiru. Everything was seen by an adult 02 who suddenly started to get a headache. 02. Ugh, shit, what is this? This pain it hurt so much. 02 began to remember everything. It turned out that the guards had captured them and erased both of their memories. 02. Now I remember everything. They erased Hero's memory and I finally recovered what I was missing. But suddenly the entire surroundings turned white and in front of her stood a grown-up hero, the same age as her, and on the other side was Izuku. Both of them were looking at 02. Before she could say or do anything, she woke up and the first thing she saw was that she was gagged, tied from head to toe, in a van, 3 were with her, and the other 2 were in the driver's and passenger's seats. 02. But what the hell? With Izuku and the others. Mirio, Najire and Tamaki had already left the meeting and headed to where Izuku and the others were waiting for them on the terrace. Izuku. So, what information did you manage to gather? Mirio. Well, there were 5 kidnappers. They came in a worn-looking white van. They went straight to the UA's blind spots, as if they already knew about them, implying that someone had given them that information. The van didn't have a license plate, which made the investigation a bit more difficult. Izuku. Well, this city is full of cameras, and if you're looking for a beat-up white van without license plates, it'll be easy. Who's going to drive an old clunker when there are more modern cars at affordable prices? You guys will look around, and Shinso, Tokoyami, and I will go to the underworld. There are people who owe me some favors down there. Izuku. Tonight, Shinso, Tokoyami, and I are going to the various basements. Mei, you're going to be our guardian angel and hack all the cameras. Mirio, Tamaki, and Najire, you're going to search the whole city. Is the plan clear? All? Hi. Time skips. The night had ended. We found ourselves in the slums. On top of a building, we could see our 3 protagonists looking at the landscape. Izuku. Remember, we have to be stealthy, show them no mercy, and make sure no one sees us here, understanding? Both of them. Understanding, loud and clear. Izuku. Alright, now let the search begin. The 3 of them went from that building to the other, jumping and doing parkour across all the buildings they were jumping over. Chapter 14. Collecting favors clues. Narrator. We can see our protagonists in a seedy bar. The 2 were hesitant to enter, but seeing that Izuku continued walking towards the bar, they just followed him. When they entered, they could see people who didn't give a good impression. Izuku just ignored them and headed towards the bartender. Although Izuku was calm, Tokoyami and Shinso remained on their guard. When they were already in front of the bartender, he just looked at them. BT, bartender. We offer children something. Izuku. I just want to talk to your boss. Just tell him that the Green Badger is looking for him to collect on that favor he owes me. BT. Okay, wait here, I'm flying. Tokoyami. Green Badger, I thought your name would be a bit more intimidating. Shinso. I agree with the crow. Tokoyami, low Miramal. Izuku. I have my reasons for choosing that name, reasons that will be explained in due time. The bartender arrives and goes towards the protagonists. BT. Please follow me, the Lord is waiting for you upstairs. The bartender led them to a door that would take them upstairs where the owner of the establishment was, but before they could enter the owner's office, the bartender stopped them. BT. Before you come in, please take off your shoes, as the boss bought a new carpet and the last thing he wants is for it to get dirty so soon. Izuku. Okay, we'll take off our shoes. The 3 of them took off their shoes, and once that was done the bartender opened the door for them and let them in where the boss was sitting and reviewing some papers that were on his desk. The boss, seeing who had entered, stopped what he was doing and fixed his gaze on Izuku. Boss. Well, look who it is, none other than the Green Badger. I thought you'd forgotten I owed you a favor. Izuku. I never forget anything and you know it, so I need some help. Boss. And what kind of help do you want? Izuku. Tell me how good you are at identifying cars, no matter how old they are. Boss. You know my obsession with cars knows no bounds. Izuku. Okay, then I want you to tell me what you know about this truck. Showing him the picture of the truck. Boss. It's a 2024 van, a Mercedes brand. These were discontinued because they were obsolete and because of their massive oil leaks, no matter how much you repaired them. But you can find them in a confessional located on the edge of a junkyard. Izuku. Thank you so much for your favor, now you can feel free of me, alright guys let's go. The three left, leaving the boss alone. Once they were out, Izuku, using his communicator, called Mei. Izuku Mei, I want you to find me a confessional near a junkyard. Mei okay, and what's the name of the confessional? Izuku well the guy didn't tell me how hard it is to find a confessional that's on the edge of a junkyard. Mei. Okay, I'll start looking for it, but be careful because the next place you go there are some heroes patrolling at this hour. Izuku. Understood, Mei, thanks for the information. Izuku, short communication with Mei. Shinso. Okay, what's the next place we're going to go? Izuku. Well, the next place we're going to is going to be pretty wild and the boss there doesn't like me, so be prepared for anything. Shinso. Please, that's the least one can expect. I don't think it's that. Now we can see how Shinso and Tokoyami were watching a girl dancing on a pole. Tokoyami. I'm starting to feel things I never thought I'd feel. Stripper. And I can make you feel many different things if you pay a certain amount for my services. Shinso and Tokoyami were about to take out their wallets, but Izuku grabbed them by the collar of their shirts. Izuku. I told them to be prepared for anything, try not to fall for their dirty seduction games, they know where to strike, they're very persuasive. Just as the two were about to speak, Izuku interrupted them. Izuku. Don't ask how I know, I just know. They arrived at the place where the drinks were being served. Izuku. Hey, tell your boss that the Green Badger came to collect on that favor he owes me. The guy just nodded and went to talk to his boss. Izuku was waiting, while Shinso and Tokoyami were mesmerized by the many scantily clad women dancing seductively on those poles. Tokoyami. Hey Izuku, how come the boss of this place owes you a favor and why does he dislike you so much? Izuku. I can't answer the first one, but I can answer the second. I once stole one of their prostitutes. Shinso. And why did you do it? Izuku. Well, it was because she asked me for help. She told me she didn't want to be in this place anymore. Since I felt some pity, I offered the boss a certain amount but he didn't accept because she was one of his best bores. Izuku. So I opted for the second plan. Tokoyami ye Sierra. Izuku. I went in shooting everywhere and took her away from there. The guy was chasing me all over town to kill me and get his boar back, but he never succeeded. Shinso. Okay, and what happens if he doesn't want to do you that favor he owes you? Izuku. Well, I'm going to have to force him to do it and since he's so full of himself, I'm going to shove the first thing I see up his ass, right in front of his employees or bodyguards. Shinso. Something tells me that not everything is going to be alright. The bartender approaches them, pulls out a gun, and points it at them. BT. Given how things went the last time they met, the chief gives them two options. Leave and never return, or die here. Everyone there pulled out their weapons and pointed them at the three of them. Tokoyami. Hey Izuku, what's this guy good at that you came to ask him for a favor after what you told us? Izuku. Well, he's good at identifying people without having to see their faces. He just needs to see the guy or hear his voice, so he's very important for the search. Shinso. This is going to be a long night. Time skips. We can see the entire establishment engulfed in flames. Our protagonists were on top of a building watching the whole place burn. Tokoyami. You didn't lie about doing it. Izuku. I'm a man of my word. Well, we already have some information. Shinso. According to what the guy who kidnapped 02 told us, they're a gang that does that for money. There used to be 6 of them, but there was a problem with one of their clients, and the last one died from a bullet to the head. Tokoyami. And that the guys aren't known by their names, but by nicknames they have, and if we want to place an order, he gave us his number. What's your plan, Izuku? Izuku. Well, it'll be easy. I'll call them and tell them I want to make a charge, but first I have to give them their code. Once they accept, they'll send one of them to meet us, and we'll set the trap. We'll capture him. Izuku. And we'll force him to spill all the information. Shinso. That sounds like a good plan, but what happens if everyone comes? Izuku. Well, we're going to tell her thank you very much for making the search easier for us. Izuku. That's all for now, let's go to sleep. Tomorrow we'll plan everything properly. The three left the scene while police and heroes approached the location. On the other side of the city. We can see 02 in the van while the guys were outside eating. She was observing her surroundings. 02. The ropes are normal, I can break them easily with my claws, but that leaves me with two problems. I don't know where I am, possibly in the lower part of the city, and it gets dangerous at this hour, and I don't know how to get around since the guy took the keys. 02. Besides, if I let them take me, I can't escape and I'll kill the one who paid for me and those who kidnapped me. It'll be killing two birds with one stone. Then the guys come back in. 02 pretends to be asleep. Subject 3. Wow, that guy really hit her hard on the head, she won't be dead. Subject 4. No, she's alive with possible head injuries, just look at her, she has the face of a mentally retarded person. 02, upon hearing that insult, felt a vein of anger bulge in his veins, but he restrained his rage from wanting to kill them right then and there. Subject 5. Hey, that kid already told you where we need to meet to make the change. Subject 1. The change will take place in 2 days. The location will be an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city. 02. Bingo, now all that's left is to wait to launch my attack. I just hope Darling is alright. I'm worried about how she's taking all this. Time skips. Now we can gather our group in a restaurant. Mirio. So, your boss's number is on this piece of paper. Izuku. That's right. Mirio. Then why haven't they called? Izuku. The problem is that the guy will want us to give him part of the money when we have our first meeting, and we might not have that amount. Tamaki. I have a cousin who counterfeits money. Mirio. You know that's illegal. Tamaki. He already stopped doing that, but he still knows how to do it. We just have to ask the guy for the money he wants, and my cousin will start printing it. Najire. And why do we only know that now? Tamaki. Well, he doesn't like anyone knowing about his dark past, and that's why he told me not to tell anyone, but seeing how things are, I'm going to see if he can do me that favor. Izuku. Okay, that's weird as it is convenient, let's make the call. Izuku grabbed his phone and started dialing the number. When it began to ring, he placed it on the table and turned on the speakerphone. Then the call is taken. What can I get you, Vito's Pizzeria? Izuku. There's nothing better than easy money. Okay, who does he want us to kidnap and where can we meet so he can give us half the pay and the information to the guy who wants it? Izuku. First of all, what is the cost of your services? 40,000 yen, but only give us half, you give us the other part when we have your order. Izuku, alright then, let's meet at the abandoned pier west of the city. Understood, see you there. The call ended. Izuku. Okay, let's get everything ready. Tamaki, you know what to do. Mei, you'll be our eyes. Mirio, Najire, Tamaki, you'll be our backups in case anything goes wrong. Shinso, Tokoyami, you'll come with me. Izuku. We have until tomorrow, we need to move fast. Time skips. The day had arrived. Our three protagonists were at the abandoned pier, watched by Mei and her hidden drones, while Mirio and his team were also hidden and ready to attack. Then the worn white pickup truck arrives. One of Mei's drones activates its infrared vision, revealing 6 people, but the last one was tied up. Mei guys, one of the drones, saw that there are 6 people in the van, and the last one is tied up. I can see that it's 02. Izuku, understood Mei, thank you. Izuku. Alright team, I want you to be ready for anything. We can't fail. The door was opened by the chief, who walked towards the 3 of them and stopped a meter away. Subject 1. So you're the one who requested our services, you get half the pay. Izuku snapped his fingers, and Shinso threw the suitcase of money. When the guy approached Izuku's suitcase, he prepared to strike first when he let his guard down. In the van we can see how the guys were watching from a camera they had placed on their boss while behind them 02 was beginning to free himself. Chapter 15. Getting to know Mom's past. Narrator. We can see how 02 took the ropes off her hands and with the tip of her tail began to remove the one from her legs. She could see that there was a weapon in front of her, so she carefully grabbed it and removed the rope from her legs. She carefully grabbed the gun and removed the safety, but in the process, she attracted the attention of the other guys in the 02 truck. When they realized they had discovered her, she pointed the gun at them. Subject 4. Hey, drop that weapon if there's no reason to go over there, just drop it and. 02. I'm not letting her go, no way. You guys better not make any weird moves or you'll die. Subject 3. Oh please, I doubt she can do any better. Give me that damn weapon, you idiot. Outside the truck, a gunshot was heard and something fell abruptly. In Izuku's place, the sound of the gunshot was heard, causing the subject to become distracted. Izuku took advantage of this moment, delivering a right hook that knocked him out. Mirio and the others, seeing that the sound of the gunshot came from the truck, went to see what it was. Mirio opened the door and saw 02 holding the gun, which was emitting smoke, and the body of the subject on the floor with a hole in his head. Tamaki, with his quirk, turned his hand into tentacles and tied up the other guys. Time skips. Now you can see the heroes and the police at the scene. The boys were being questioned by the police. Namasa. Can you tell me why they did this, knowing the consequences of their actions? Izawa. Your actions were very irresponsible and dangerous. One of you could have died. Izuku. Yes, but nobody died, so everything's fine. Almight. And what about the guy who's in the bag? Izuku. He doesn't count. You guys said one of us could die, not someone from outside. Besides, he deserved it. He wasn't a kidnapper. Sir. Mirio, when I was told you were involved in all this, I didn't believe it, but now that I see it, I can only say that I expected more from you. Ryukyo. This goes for you too, Najire. I'm very disappointed in you. Padgum. Come on, don't be so hard on them. Yes, I understand that Tamaki and his friends acted recklessly, but that's what heroes are for. We act recklessly to save civilians, and they did the same. Besides, I remember that you weren't exactly saints in your teens either. Izuku, fed up with his only friends being punished because of him, decided to speak out. Izuku. That's enough. They have nothing to do with all this. I'm responsible for all of this. Almight. What does Midoriya Shonen refer to? Izuku. I forced them to do all this, and the fire at that establishment was my fault. I started it, and no one else did. I'm the only one to blame here. Besides, I'm glad one of those kidnappers died. Ryukyu. If you know you're talking about a person. Izuku. Yes, a person who was paid to kidnap and who knows what else. The only way for those kinds of people to pay for their actions is with death. Namasa. Kid, you know what? If you keep saying that, you could ruin your hero career. Izuku. Yeah, and what do I care? I'm fed up with the bad guy never understanding that what he's doing is wrong. So why don't we teach them that their actions have serious consequences by making them pay with their lives? Izuku. Besides, you no longer inspire the same fear in villains as before. Now they see you as clowns. That's why I'm going to change everything. I'm going to make villains afraid when they see me, so they abandon all hope of salvation, because with me there will be no mercy or clemency towards them. Everyone was surprised by the ideology this boy held. They always gave him the benefit of the doubt, but apparently not everyone wanted to. They already knew about this ideology through their old friend who ended up dying. Ryukyu. Hey kid, according to your file it says your father died, what was his name again? Izuku. His name was Kafka Midoriya. Now everything made sense. The one they had in front of them was the son of Kaiju Hero, also known as Kafka Hibino. Ryukyu approached Izuku and began observing him, making Izuku a little uncomfortable. Ryukyu. You inherited more of your mother's genes than your father's, but that doesn't change the fact that you have some of his features. Izuku. Wait, how do you know about my family? Ryukyu. I'll take you and your friend home so we can talk about how I know your family. She wonders why 02 didn't speak. Well, she was in the ambulance being examined. Izawa. You won't get away with this. Shinso. I'm not in his class, so he can't do anything to me. Izawa. No, but Izuku told me that if I took you on as a student, I could see great potential in you, so now call me master and prepare for your punishment. Shinso. I don't know whether to feel happy or sad. Tokoyami. How are you both? Time skips. In Midoriya's apartment. Izuku and 02 were heading towards the door while being followed by Ryukyu. 02. Whispering, hey darling, what's a top 10 heroine doing following us? Izuku. Whispering, let's just say she knows something about my family that I don't. 02. Whispering, and what does she know? She seems to be more beauty than brains. Izuku. Whispering, you might be right, besides, they already treat her like an old woman, and… Ryukyu. If you know I can hear you, you damn kids. Izuku and 02 began to sweat from the fear and nervousness they now felt. The loud crash and groans of pain were heard throughout the building. Now we can see how the three of them were standing in front of the door, only Izuku and 02 had bumps on their heads, while comical tears streamed from their eyes. The door is opened by Inko, and upon seeing the two of them, she hugs them. Inko. Children, I'm so glad you're okay. You have no idea how worried I was. Inko fixes her gaze on who was behind them, causing her face to change to a serious one. Ryukyu, I thought I would never have to see your face again. Ryukyu. I say the same to you, Inko. When I saw that your son had gotten into trouble, I decided to bring him to you and see how an old friend was doing. Inko. That's strange because what I remember is that you and I never got along and we hated each other even more when we both fell in love with the same man. Izuku. What's going on here? I'm getting scared. Ryukyu. I think it's time to tell her, don't you, Inko? Inko? You're right, it's about time you knew who your father was, Izuku. Ryukyu. You know, I'm going to come by too, to make sure you don't change anything and leave me as the bad guy in the story. Inko. Okay, come in, but I don't want you to leave your fleas in my house when you leave. Ryukyu. You don't know how much I hate you. Inko. The feeling is mutual. Everyone entered the room, each one sat in a seat. Ryukyu sat on the long sofa, Izuku and 02 sat on the medium one, and Inko sat on the staff. Inko. Where do you want us to start? 02. Maybe it's how you two met. Inko. Okay, Mitsuki and I were studying at UA, we were in general studies. One day at lunch, Mitsuki, as usual, got into trouble, and this time she was fighting with a heroin applicant. So I went over to her to get her out of that mess, but then I saw that another girl was joining the fight, so the fairest thing my 15-year-old self did was punch the interloper in the face. Ryukyu. You had to remind me of the day you broke my nose. Inko. Well, who told you to get involved in a fight that isn't yours? Besides, if I remember correctly, your friend Ruma was the one who started the whole fight. Izuku. And what happened after that? Did they just leave her there or? Inko. Ryukyu. Of course not. Ryukyu. I wasn't going to stand idly by. I had a reputation for not letting anyone push me around, so let the four of us fight. Inko. The teachers had to separate us because the fight was escalating. They took us to the principal's office and gave us a week suspension for a fight those two started. Ryukyu. Sorry, you were the one who threw the first punch. I was just going to get Rumi out of there, but you didn't have to come and break my nose. Inko. Oh please, stop crying, will you? Get over it, okay? Ryukyu. Anyway, that was just the beginning. During the entire year we were at UA, we never stopped fighting with each other until graduation day. Inko. When I finally left UA, I thought that the horrible dragon face was never going to return. Ryukyu. But it seems life hated us, making us fall in love with the same man. Inko. That's your dad, Izuku. Izuku. Okay, but how did the two of them meet my father? Inko. I met him at a restaurant. He told me he was a foreigner. He had left his family because they wouldn't let him live his life, and right there I learned that your father had a big appetite. Ryukyu. I met him once when he came to my office. He was in his early days as a hero. He had been assigned a mission with me. 02. How they left him to do the work of a hero. Ryukyu. They gave him a few tests, both physical and psychological. His mind was fine, but they kept an eye on him because his ideology of justice is the same as yours. Inko. During that time, he and I had become very close to the point that I let him live with me since he had nowhere else to go. Ryukyu. At first I didn't like him because of his way of thinking, but as time went on, a feeling grew inside me towards him. Inko. The same thing happened to me, but when we found out that we both had the same feelings for the same man, our war that had ended started again, but this time it was about who Kafka was going to end up with. Inko. And as you can see, I was the winner. Kafka chose me instead of you. Ryukyu. And that's something I still can't accept. How could he choose you instead of me? I just don't understand. Inko. Well, I had my charms, and they knew where to strike in his heart. Besides, you were slow. Whenever you had an opportunity to get closer to his heart, you wasted it, making yourself unattainable. Inko. Well, I took advantage of every opportunity I was given to get closer to his heart. I was always there for him, something you never were. Ryukyu. I was always busy. The work of a hero isn't easy. Inko. I was busy too. I was the secretary of a fat guy who kept making insinuations that if I slept with him, he would give me a raise, and when I refused he would punish me by increasing my workload without raising my salary for making me work overtime. Inko. But that never stopped me from always being with Kafka. I showed him that despite everything, I was always there for him, unlike you who just left him. Good luck. 02. And what happened to your former boss, Mr. Midoriya? Inko. I told Kafka about my problem, and he personally went to talk to my boss, and that same day I quit that lousy job. Inko. Because Kafka was starting to get paid much better for his work as a hero. Ryukyu. Thanks anyway, I just came to drop off your kid, I didn't come to apologize. Goodbye. Ryukyu got up from the sofa and left the place, leaving the three of them alone. 02. Wow, today was a really tough day. I was kidnapped, and I discovered that your mother and the heroine Ryukyu were rivals. What a crazy day. Izuku. Tell me, I'm her son, why didn't you ever tell me, Mom? Inko. I didn't see the need to tell you that part of my past, so I kept it well hidden in my head. 02. I'm going to take a bath. Are you coming, darling? Izuku. Okay, I need one too. Time skips. It was already night, our two protagonists were already lying in bed. 02 was hugging Izuku, her head on his chest, while Izuku stroked her head. Izuku. So you've finally remembered your lost memories, what do you plan to do about it? 02. Nothing, the past is the past, I have you, that's all that matters to me now. 02. Besides, I was away from you for a long time, which reminds me. 02 climbed on top of Izuku and began kissing him. She broke the kiss and took off her shirt, revealing her breasts. 02. Mommy is eager to try daddy's special milk again. Izuku just laughed at this and began to undress, 02 doing the same. Chapter 16 Mixed Feelings. Narrator. It was a new day. Our protagonists were sleeping soundly, cuddled up to each other, but they were beginning to wake up as the sun's rays hit their faces. Izuku. It's already daytime, we have to get up. 02, come on up. 02. I don't want to, I want to keep sleeping. I was kidnapped, at least let me sleep a little longer. No, at least give me that. No. Izuku. We have to go to the police station so you can give your account of the story and identify the guys, and I need to see what punishment they're going to give me. 02. I still think it's unfair that they're punishing you when you saved me along with the others. Izuku. Yeah, but you know how it is. If you don't have a hero license, you can't do anything heroic because you'll get punished. 02. What a load of crap their laws are. Izuku. Yes, they are. Now let's not prolong this and go get changed. 02. You go take a bath, I'll get the clothes ready. Izuku. Okay. Izuku got out of bed, grabbed his towel, and went to the bathroom. 02 started to get up, but then his head began to hurt as memories of an adult and a child hero came to mind. But as soon as the memory came, it was gone, and his head stopped hurting. 02. Ugh, shit, what was all that about and why, having those memories of hero, didn't I? 02. I'm already with Izuku, I mean darling, I'm already with my darling, and I'm very happy with him. The past is the past, and the present is today. 02 put those thoughts aside and set about finding clothes for the two of them. In the bathroom. Izuku. I don't know if it's just me, but I've noticed 02 is a bit distant with me sometimes. When I want to talk to her, she seems to be in another world, like she's preoccupied with something, or rather someone. And when we were sleeping, she whispered Hiro's name in her sleep. Izuku. It seems my time with her is coming to an end. This is a shame because I still wanted to spend more time with her. All I can do is enjoy the little time I have left with her. Once Izuku left the bathroom and entered the room, 02 began kissing him. Izuku didn't resist the kiss and continued, but they had to separate. Izuku. It doesn't bother me at all, but can you tell me why that happened? 02. Can't I kiss my darling without a reason? Izuku. Of course you can, it's just that you caught me off guard. 02. Haha, I've already got our clothes ready. You go change, I'm going to take a shower. Before 02 left, Izuku gave her a playful slap on the butt and she just gave him a somewhat lustful smile and then swayed her hips towards the bathroom. Time skips. Now we can see our protagonist seating in the kitchen while Inko was having her coffee. Inko. So you're going to the police station to give your side of the story. Izuku. That's right. Inko. Are you sure I won't go with you? I can do something so you don't get punished. Your father left me some contacts before he died. Izuku. No need, Mom, I can handle this, but thank you for your concern. Inko. Then I wish you both well, but do you know who hired those guys to kidnap you? 02. 02. We don't know that yet, but Izuku and I have some suspicions about who was responsible for everything. Izuku. We think it was one of our classmates, more specifically one named Shoto Todoroki. He's obsessed with 02 ever since the first day he saw her. 02. Hasn't stopped bothering me by making advances several times. Izuku. And at the sports festival, he let us know that he loves 02, no matter what. Izuku. He let me know during a break at the festival. He offered me money for her, but I refused and I think he didn't like it. 02. And in my fight with him, he made me know that I was going to be his no matter what. Inko. Wow, that's awful. Hasn't any teacher or the principal told you about that? Izuku. I already did it, but they called me crazy, and besides, the lack of evidence is very rare. 02. Let's just hope these guys cooperate and reveal who hired them and who gave them that information about UA's blind spots. Izuku. Well, Mom, thank you very much for the food. We're leaving now before it gets too late. 02. Goodbye Mr. Inko, have a good day at work. Inko. Same to you guys, have a good time there. Izuku and 02 left the apartment and walked towards the train station. It wasn't that far, about 10 minutes away. 02. Hey Izuku, do you have anything in mind after we do all this? Izuku. I don't really know, but I'll think of something. And you already have something in mind since classes are suspended because of this problem. 02. Well, let's just say I have something in mind, but I'll tell you after we get out of all this shit once and for all. Izuku. Haha, wow, this whole problem is really getting on your nerves, huh? 02. Ash, you can say that again. I just hope your punishment isn't too severe. Izuku. Don't worry, I'll manage to avoid getting my punishment. 02. So, how are you going to avoid getting punished? Izuku. You stay calm and I'll be nervous. I've got everything coldly calculated. 02. Well, if you say so, I completely trust your words, darling. Time skips. Our protagonists, after a train journey to the police headquarters, finally arrived. At the entrance, they saw Detective Namasa waiting for them. Namasa. You arrived just in time, come on, the others are waiting for us inside. The three proceeded to enter and could see some officers running around. Izuku. And can we know who's here? Namasa. Well, the principal, Aizawa, Almight, and the mentors of the big three except for one. 02. What do you want me to say? I was locked in a van the whole time. I doubt I can contribute anything to all this. Namasa. Any information is useful when it comes to kidnappings and other crimes. Izuku. Is anything known about the kidnappers? Have they wanted to talk? Who is responsible for all this? Namasa. They still don't want to talk, they say they'll take that information to their graves, and they're very confident they'll get out due to lack of evidence. Izuku. Why are those idiots so confident? Namasa. Since they were wearing masks the whole time, they say they wouldn't be recognized. 02. Hahaha, leave that to me. I can recognize a person without seeing their face. Just by hearing their voice, I'll know who my attackers are. Namasa. Well, we trust you too with this case, because this isn't the first time those bastards have done this and gotten away with it due to lack of evidence. Once they arrived at the room where 02 was, she gave her testimony of the events, where they then took her to identify the kidnappers. 02, using her kaiju abilities, was able to recognize the men and pointed them out, even indicating where their tattoos were located. They went to check and it was true. So they took the subjects away to extract all the information from them. Izuku. Okay, we've helped you with your investigation. Now we can really leave. Aizawa. We're so fast, troublemaker. Izuku. Ah, and now what do you want? We'll help you with all of this. Aizawa. Your punishment hasn't been discussed yet. Izuku. And you're going on about that again. Instead of giving me a damn punishment, they should give me a reward, not a lollipop for being a good boy. That wouldn't be bad. Aizawa. That was the job of heroes. You're not qualified for one yet. Izuku. If I remember correctly, 02 was placed under my care, not yours, so it was my problem too, because I'm the one who looks after her, and no one else but me. Izuku. So the problem was more mine than yours. If that's all you were going to say, then we're getting out of here. Izuku took 02's hand, and they left. Almight. He's the spitting image of his father, don't you think, Aizawa? Aizawa. Sometimes I confuse him with his father. Did you notice that Ryukyu went to Inko's house? Almight. I'm surprised she made it out of there alive. Aizawa. Yes, but she left there all messed up. Why do you think she didn't come? With Izuku and 02. They were walking through the streets. Izuku. Hey 02, I want to go to that place you wanted to tell me about. 02. Yes, but I feel it's not the right time. Izuku. Don't worry about me, I'm fine. 02. Well, the place I wanted to go is a video game arcade down this street. I saw it while we were going to the police station. Izuku. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's have some fun. The two went straight to the arcade where they started playing all the video games there, playing and winning prizes. They spent the whole day there, but evening had fallen and the place was about to close, so they left. They were now walking in the direction of the house. 02. It was fun spending the whole day there. We should do it again sometime, don't you think? Izuku. Yeah, I say the same, but I just want to get home, take a bath, and rest. 02. Mom Inko said she'd be home late today, right? Izuku. That's right, we'll have the house to ourselves for a while. 02 Fufufu, I like how that sounds. Izuku. Haha, you're quite the pervert, you knew that. 02. And whose fault is that? Izuku. I accept all charges. Time skips. Now we can see our protagonists arriving at the house, leaving all their things in the room, taking off their clothes and going to take a shower. Once they finished showering, they went to their shared room. 02 just locked the door. Izuku cornered her against the wall and began kissing her. They were both still in towels and somewhat wet. But these two were still having their French kiss. Izuku broke away from the kiss and began to give her hickeys on her neck, exciting 02 even more, but something happened. 02. Ah hero ah stronger. Upon hearing that name, Izuku stopped everything. Izuku. Wait, what did you just call me? 02, upon hearing that he had gotten his name wrong, was terrified. 02. Nervously Izuku, I didn't mean that. Izuku. But you said it, didn't you? You mistook me for him. Besides, this isn't the first time you've said his name. When you were sleeping with me, you used to say his name in your sleep and you seemed very happy. Izuku. Besides, it's like I don't exist for you. When I want to talk to you, it's like you don't care. 02. Yes, I know, but I didn't want to. Izuku. 02, tell me one thing, do you love me? 02. I, looks down the truth is I don't know anymore. Izuku. Sighs thank you for your honesty. Izuku grabbed some clean clothes and opened the bedroom door. Izuku. I'll sleep in the living room, you sleep in the room. Izuku left the room, closing the door behind him. 02 just stood there, hugged herself, and began to sob softly. Once Izuku changed, he went to lie down on the largest sofa in the living room, but as tiredness was getting the better of him, he ended up falling asleep. Time skips. Izuku woke up in the middle of the night to an electric shock. When he looked to see who it was, he saw his mother, who looked somewhat angry. Izuku. Mom, why was that? Inko. It was because I made 02 cry. It's 12:53 at night and I found the poor thing crying. She told me everything. Inko. At least you could have let her explain, right? Izuku. But she told me that. Inko. I know what she said. She's in a mess of emotions. That's how your father felt and she's going through the same thing. It's your responsibility to help her sort out those emotions, so go to the room. You'd better not make her cry anymore. Izuku. Okay, I'll go to her. He got up from the sofa, went to the room, and upon entering he saw 02 crying. He sat down at the edge of the bed. Izuku. Hey 02, about what happened? 02. I really didn't mean that. I honestly don't know what's happening to me. I love you, but something deep inside tells me it's a lie. 02. I don't want to lose you, Izuku. Izuku. I want to apologize for what I said to you this afternoon. I know what I did was wrong. You're going through a difficult time and I left you to your own devices. Izuku. So let me help you work through your feelings. 02. Darling. 02 lunged towards Izuku and hugged him, but it was clear that 02 was still naked. Izuku. Wait, 02, why are you still naked? 02. The sadness was so great that I didn't feel like changing. 02 is kissed by Izuku, and she returns the kiss. Now the two were lying in bed continuing their kissing session. 02 began to remove Izuku's clothes. He understood the message and removed all his clothes, leaving them both naked. 02 turned him over, ending up on top of Izuku. 02. Darling, please don't do anything, let me please you. Izuku. Okay 02, make me feel better. 02 began to go down until she reached Izuku's penis, which was already very erect, so she placed it between her breasts. 02. Darling, I'm going to make you feel like you're in heaven and make you forget what happened this afternoon. 02 began to move her breasts up and down, and to add more ecstasy to the matter, she began to use her tongue, licking Izuku's penis, as if it were a lollipop. Izuku was completely fascinated by 02's great skill in these kinds of things. She always knew how to get him hard in just seconds. She looked down and could see how 02 worked her magic with her breasts and mouths. Izuku. Oh 02, you don't know how much I like it when you do that with your tits and your tongue on my penis. 02. I'm glad you're enjoying it, darling, but this isn't over yet. I'll keep going until you cum all over my face. So 02 continued for a few minutes. Izuku could feel like he was about to come at any moment. Izuku. Shit 02, I'm about to cum, be ready. 02. Spill it all on me, darling, I don't want you to hold anything back. Izuku couldn't hold it in any longer and began to blurt everything out in 02's mouth and face. 02. Oh wow, this time you really came, darling. 02, with her hand, grabs the semen that was on her breasts and face and brings it to her mouth, which she then proceeds to swallow completely without protest. 02. Look, darling, I swallowed all your milk like the good girl I am. Izuku. That's how I see it, 02. Now I want you to get on all fours. 02. As you say, darling. Lemon skipped. Izuku, good evening 02. 02. Good night to you too, darling. Chapter 17 I think this is the right thing for her. Izuku narrates. A few days have passed and the relationship 02 and I had has diminished more and more. She and I have been doing everything possible to make our relationship like it was before, but nothing has worked. She's even stopped calling me darling. Now she only calls me by my name. That's what hurts me. Besides, our fights are getting worse. What I feared most is becoming a reality. Losing 02. Her heart is already beating for her friend from the past. It hurts to accept, but it's the reality. She told me that she loves me, that he's in the past, but both she and I knew it was a lie, a truth we didn't want to accept. There's a saying that goes, if you love someone, you have to let them go. I know that saying seems stupid and meaningless to me, but when you put it another way it starts to make sense. You love that person, but they don't love you anymore, so you have to let them go even if it hurts. End of Izuku's narration. Izuku was in the bathtub, taking a bath, his gaze fixed on the ceiling, as if he were thinking about something. Her gaze shifts to her phone. She lets out a heavy sigh, grabs it, and starts searching her contacts for a number. Finding it, she proceeds to call. Izuku, hello, it's me, Izuku Midoriya. You weren't expecting this call, were you? It's not about her. I'm calling because I need information on someone named Hiro. I saw some files about him during the mission I did with you guys, and I also want you to find out where he's currently living. I know you're hesitating, but don't worry, it's nothing bad. I'll tell you my reasons when I have the information and when we meet at the restaurant that just opened. Goodbye. Izuku hung up the call, turned off his phone, put it somewhere, grabbed his towel, got out of the tub, wrapped himself in the towel, and looked at himself in the mirror. Izuku. I know this hurts, but it's for the best for both of us, it's for her. Izuku left the bathroom, went to his room, and began to get dressed. Once changed, he left his room and went to the living room where he saw 02 watching TV. Izuku. Alright 02, let's go. 02. Okay, let's go. They had agreed to go out so that perhaps they could return their relationship to how it was before. The two left the apartment and began walking through the streets, but this time they weren't holding hands and it seemed as if each was in their own world. Without wanting to talk to the other Izuku, wanting to notice that, he decided to break the silence between them. Izuku. Hey 02, what do you think about going to eat at the new restaurant that just opened up nearby? 02. Okay Izuku, I saw your review and you said your food tastes good even though it hasn't been open long. The two returned to their silence, walking towards the new restaurant. Izuku was bothered by this silence because, unlike the others, this one felt uncomfortable and heavy. The silence of past times hadn't felt like this at all. It had been a pleasant silence that could be enjoyed. Now, not even that was possible. Once they arrived at the restaurant, they asked for a table for two. The waitress took them to their table and asked for their order. Izuku ordered a katsudon 02 and a slow-cooked pork chop. Once he had written down his orders, he left, leaving the protagonists in silence once again. Izuku, fed up with the silence, decided to speak about the first thing that came to mind. Izuku. Hey, what if we ever try to do it while taking your kaiju form? 02. Hey, what's wrong with you? Don't say those things in public. Izuku. Sorry, it was either that or continue in this unbearable silence we were in a little while ago. 02. Yes, I say the same thing. I've tried to talk to you about something, but the words just won't come out. 02. This is something I really don't like. I feel like our relationship is deteriorating more and more, and I feel like I'm to blame for all of this. 02. I've seen how much effort you put into keeping our relationship afloat, but I don't put in nearly as much effort as you do. 02. The first few times I saw you, something inside me heated up just from seeing you, but now, as things stand I'm sorry, but I don't want to continue. I don't want to hurt you anymore. Izuku. It's okay, just keep going. The important thing is honesty, so don't stop, just keep going. 02. Now that I see you, I feel that it's getting colder and colder, and when images of heroes suddenly pop into my mind, my heart starts racing. 02. The images come out of nowhere. I try to get them out of my mind, but just by doing so, my head starts to hurt. It's like my brain, heart, and emotions are falling in love with Hiro again, but apparently my conscience doesn't agree with them. She's the one holding me up so I can stay with you. 02. But how long will this last? How long will he keep resisting before giving in? That's what I fear most. That one day he'll wake up, see you, and no longer feel anything for you. 02. Izuku, I'm really scared that will happen to me. 02 began to shed tears of sadness in her eyes. Izuku simply took her hands and looked at her. Izuku. I know that in these last few days our relationship hasn't been going well at all, I know you feel guilty but don't feel guilty. Izuku. I knew this was going to happen, but instead of trying to make sure you never regained your memory, I did everything I could to make every moment with you beautiful, and it was. Izuku. And I still do, enjoying spending time with you. 02. But what if one of these days I don't love you anymore and I want to find Hero? Izuku. You are completely free to do so. Both men and women are free to choose who to love and who not to love. Izuku. Besides, your love was destined to be with him, since those of our species are only destined to fall in love twice. Izuku. But since you're a clone, you can only fall in love once. The first time you met Hero, seeing how he was rescuing you and treating you well, your heart fell completely in love with him. Izuku. It's just that that feeling was dormant because of the brainwashing they did to you, but now that you've remembered it, all those feelings are starting to awaken again. 02. I'm impressed by how you're handling all of this and how you know all of that. Izuku. Haha, what can I say? Then the waitress arrives with their food and leaves it on the table. Izuku. Okay, now let's eat, I'm starving. Enjoy your meal. The two began to eat their food and once they had finished, they paid the bill and left. They went to the park and sat on a bench, watching families playing with their children. Izuku. Hey 02, how would you find Hero once you've completely fallen in love with him? 02. I honestly don't know, I hadn't thought about that. Izuku. So you were just going to go from place to place and without having any money? 02. Well, I was thinking that you could give me money every time I. Izuku. I have self-respect, you idiot. I'm not going to give you money just so you can find another guy. 02. Well, at least I tried. Izuku. Look, let's go home so we can think this through clearly. 02. Okay. The two of them got up from the bench and left the park, heading straight for home. Time skips. It was already night. Izuku was in the bathroom brushing his teeth when his phone started ringing. When he took it out and saw who it was, he saw it was him, so he answered the call. Soldier2, I've got all the information you asked for, now set a date for us to meet. Izuku, how about tomorrow at noon? You already know the place. Izuku finished brushing his teeth, looked in the mirror one last time, and left for his room to sleep. Tomorrow would be a new day. Time skips. The day had already arrived, our protagonists had already woken up and were in the apartment doing nothing. 02 was boredly watching TV, but then Izuku came out, dressed in going out clothes. 02. Izuku, go somewhere. Izuku. Yes, I'm going to run an errand. It'll be quick, so I won't be long. 02. Okay, be careful, you never know what kind of crazy people are out there. Izuku. Don't worry, I'll have it. Izuku left the apartment and began his walk towards the new restaurant where he was to meet with Soldier 2 for the information. Once inside the establishment, he saw the guy and went to sit where he was. Soldier2. The place you chose, the food is delicious. Izuku. Yes, I know what we're here for. Do you have the information? Soldier 2. Here's everything you asked for, showing a yellow folder. Soldier 2. But why do you want this information? Izuku. I want to give it to 02. Let's just say she recovered her missing memories and remembered that guy, Hero. Izuku. So I'm going to give her that information so she can go find her true love or whatever. Soldier2. Well, that girl is lucky because he's still single and a total virgin. His Google search gives him away. Plus, he needs to go to the gym. Izuku. Sometimes people fall in love with the person they least expect. Here, this is for your help. Gives her a wad of yen. Soldier 2. I didn't ask for money and yet you gave it to me for this information. Sometimes I wonder what goes through your head. Izuku. My head is a complete enigma. Takes the folder well, it was nice talking to you. Take care. Izuku left the restaurant and started walking back to his apartment. Once he arrived, he went inside, stared at the door and then at the folder. Izuku. Sighs, I think this is the right thing for her, even though I knew it from the beginning, but it still hurts. Izuku stopped rambling to himself, mustered his courage, opened the door, and proceeded to enter the apartment. Chapter 18 Goodbye 02. Narrator. Izuku entered the apartment and saw 02 calmly watching television. Then she fixed her gaze on Izuku. 02. Oh Izuku, you arrived so quickly. I was still searching, but I got tired and all the clues I got turned out to be false. 02. Tell me, can you tell me what you went there to do? Izuku. I went to meet with an acquaintance. I told him he could do me a favor and here's the favor. Izuku hands her the folder. She looks at it strangely and decides to open it. She's pleasantly surprised by what it contains. It was complete information about Hero, both old and current, and it also included where he is currently living. 02. Izuku, but how did you get all this? Izuku. I already told you, besides, keep looking there. 02 obeyed and was able to see a passport that was in his name. Izuku. I asked a guy if he could make me a fake passport for you. 02. Why is he doing all this? I really don't understand. Izuku. I don't intend to hold you back any longer. I know you're destined to be with him. Stop fighting with yourself and accept that feeling. 02. But what's going to happen to you? I can't do this to you. Izuku. Don't worry about me, I'll be fine. Remember, I can fall in love twice. This is the first time I've fallen in love. As for you, you can only fall in love once. 02 could see that there was something else in the folder, so he took it out and saw that it was a plane ticket. Izuku. Well, that ticket is from me, but it's all I'm going to give you. You'll have to figure out the rest. That ticket will take you to the city where Hero is. Izuku. Your flight takes off next Sunday. 02. I really don't know what to say. All of this is too much for just one day. Izuku. I think we'll be seeing each other very soon, but at least I had a good time with you all this time. 02. Yes, I had a great time with you too. You taught me many things since I left that prison where they kept me. But are you sure you're okay, or that you'll be okay once I leave you forever? Izuku. Hey, I already told you I'll be fine and I always will be. You don't have to worry about yourself and find your true darling. Izuku. I'm still young, I have a lot ahead of me to meet new people. 02. I'm glad to hear that from you. I know my conscience will be at peace now, knowing that you'll be alright. Izuku. And what do you plan to do with the few days we have left together before you leave? 02. Well, to be honest, I don't know what to do. Do you have anything in mind that you'd like to do? Izuku. What do you think about going out to have some fun, but this time not as a couple, but as two friends hanging out? What do you think? 02. I say, that sounds great to me. Let me get ready so we can go out. 02 got up from the couch and went to the room to get ready for his outing with friends. Time skips. Our protagonists were walking through the streets trying to figure out what to do. 02. Hey Izuku, have you ever wondered where your father comes from? Izuku. Well, I once asked my mother about that, but she said she didn't know either. When it came to that subject, he always avoided it with something else. My father's side of the family is a mystery. 02. And what happened to your mother's family? Izuku. Well, Mom, she was an only child. When she was 25, her parents died in a car accident. 02. It must have been hard for her to lose her parents. Izuku. Yes, it hurt her a lot, but luckily my father was there with her. 02. It must have been nice to grow up with the love of a family. I was created in a laboratory to be a weapon to kill a queen who knows if she's still alive. Izuku. You're right, I had fond memories with my mother and father, when he died it really hurt. 02. And what did your father die of, if I may ask? Izuku. Well, out of nowhere the city was attacked by a huge creature. The top 10 heroes couldn't face it, but my dad arrived and started to gain ground. But he got too confident and the creature hurt him in the chest, infecting him with its poison. Izuku. My father decided that if he was going to die, he was going to take the child with him. Izuku. It was hard to see my father die, I couldn't even say goodbye to him. 02. What would your father think if he saw you right now? Izuku. I honestly don't know. I'd say he's proud of me, but I haven't done anything remarkable for him to say those things. Maybe he'd say how much he loved me, but he couldn't say it because I died. I really don't know. 02. Let go of that remorse. I'm sure your father would be happy to see you following in his footsteps in search of peace. How about we change the subject? Izuku. That sounds great, now where do you want to go? 02. Well, I'm craving some ice cream. What do you think about going to an ice cream shop? Izuku. Okay, let's go get some ice cream. The two went to the ice cream shop, ordered their ice creams, and went to sit on a bench that was nearby. Izuku. Hey, have you noticed how few people are here? This place is always packed. 02. You're right about that, but everything is so quiet. I don't know, but I feel like something's not right here. Izuku. You're right about that, it's like something's watching us. At that moment, all of Izuku's senses were on high alert. In a swift action, he shot at 02, then jumped off the bench, which was destroyed by powerful ice spikes. Shoto. I won't fail next time. Izuku. It had to be you. When are you going to give up? For God's sake, just get over it already. Shoto. I'm not coming for 02 anymore. I understand that if I don't have her, nobody else will. 02. I don't know what's worse, the fact that he wants me as his hex toy or that he wants to kill me because of his sick mind. Izuku. Either one is bad and unacceptable. 02. Hey, look, today we don't feel like fighting or dying, so you better go back where you came from. Shoto. Well, that's a shame because I don't plan to do it. This place is going to be his grave. Izuku. Well, since activates his berserker mode. 02. And I thought we were going to have a quiet afternoon, but no activates her semi-kaiju mode. Shoto, activate your fire and cold side. Shoto was the first to launch the attack, but Izuku and 02 dodged it and began to circle around him, circling his axis, with the aim of confusing him and achieving their objective. 02, seeing that Shoto was already confused by his tail, attacked Shoto's legs, preventing him from moving them. Seeing that he was being cornered, he created a circle of ice reinforced with fire to prevent another attack from a distance. 02. The coward hid in that circle of ice that he reinforced with fire. Izuku. There's a part that wasn't covered, and it's the top. 02. I have an idea. Your berserker mode can generate electricity and throw stakes, right? Izuku. That's right, but what's the point? 02. This is the plan. Meanwhile, Shoto was tending to his leg wounds as best he could, but then a shadow appeared above him. When he turned around, he saw it was 02, flying while carrying Izuku. In a swift movement, Izuku began firing stakes around Shoto, hindering his movement. Then he fired a beam of electricity at one of the stakes, which began to glow and vibrate. Out of nowhere, Shoto's protective shield exploded from the inside due to the electrical explosion. Shoto was injured and could barely go on. He could see that in front of him were Izuku and 02, in their normal forms. Shoto couldn't take it anymore and fainted. Izuku. We'd better leave before the police and the heroes arrive to deal with him. 02. Okay, it's best if we go home. Izuku and 02 started running towards the house, praying that no one would see them. But in one of the buildings not far from there, a green phoenix can still be seen observing the whole situation. Behind it, a portal opens and it leaves. Time skips. For the remaining 2 weeks, Izuku and 02 had a great time creating their final memories, as the time was approaching for 02 to leave until the last day arrived, which was Sunday. Now we are in an airport. We can see Izuku and 02, who was carrying her suitcases and the yellow folder. 02. It's almost time for me to go, Izuku. Is there anything you want to tell me, since this is the last time we'll see each other? Izuku. To be honest, I had a great time with you all this time, I really have nothing to complain about. Loudspeaker. Miss 02, please board your flight, which has arrived. 02. Well, it's time for me to go. Oh, Izuku, I had a great time too. Thanks for everything, Izuku. I promise I won't forget you. Izuku. Haha, don't make promises you're not going to keep. 02 started walking towards the escalator that would take her to her plane, but then Izuku spoke. Izuku. 02, wait a moment. 02. Is something bad happening, Izuku? Izuku. There's something I want to tell you one last time. I want to wish you the best and hope you finally find that person you've been searching for. 02. That's what I plan to do, Izuku. And you take care of yourself too, and may you find a woman who truly loves you in the future. 02 turned around, went up the escalator, and disappeared into the distance, watched by Izuku, who had a smile on his face, while treacherous tears streamed from his eyes. But she quickly wiped them off, turned around, and started walking towards the exit, but then her phone rang. When she sees it's a call, she answers it. Izawa, Midoriya, where the hell have you been? You know you're going to be in serious trouble if you don't come back right now. Izuku, you know what, sensei? I've thought it through really well, and I want to drop out of school. This is because my ideals don't align with yours, so I'm thinking of leaving the Hero Academy. That's all. I'll see you when I finish the paperwork. Goodbye. Izawa was about to say something else, but Izuku hung up the phone, put it away, and continued walking towards the airport exit, disappearing from the camera's view. Well folks, this is the last chapter of this story. I hope you all enjoyed it. Goodbye. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.